I'm just not sure whether this is... Yes, we are live. Guys, are you still in the room, or is this a different one? Are we in a second one now? Chat to us? Yeah, okay. Now then, just see whether you can use the scoreboard here. There we go. So you've got that one working. Right, and we're live here. We just need to know whether you guys are in the room. So I'm going to find a link to the...
So
you carry on.
So we're on a new screen, and so all our viewers are in a different room, are they?
At the moment, they might be, but we're about to send them the link and send them to the other one. I'm going to put on here. Oh, you know us. We're not the most technical people out there, but we've got it, and she's not on for another 40 minutes, so at least we're okay. And I'm going to put in the content in the live. Yes, we've got 2 lives going on at the moment, and we're going to put a message to you guys. Guys, can you go to the other one? Because that's the one where I've had some technical issues yet again. There's 500 of you in the room, which is great to see you. And I know you can see us, and you can see us chatting, but we know that the scoreboard is updating in the other one. And so I'm going to put on a post the link to the other one. And I'm going to post on the post, which is the post for this one. I'm going to put the link, and then you can, if you wouldn't mind, if you're happy there, then carry on. But if you want to come to the other one, then I'm going to pop it in there and save. So on the post for this live, there's a link, and you can come and join us. But at the moment, we've got 150 of you. No, we've got 499 of them chatting with us over there. So we can still carry on chatting. It doesn't matter to us at all. And you just, it's just lovely to have you there. And there we are. So we can see that one, and it's that one. Oh, there you are. Better audio on this live. Oh, good.
Thank goodness.
Thank you. Oh, wonderful.
So can we close the other one down or not?
No, because there's a lot of people still in that room.
Okay.
And so we've now got, we now can see that you can see us live here. Oh, Dan can relax because he knows the scoreboard works. Press the 15 love just to see. Match point. There you go.
Yes, we're hoping for this kind of first set score.
There you go. That's what we want. Don't tease them. Someone might come in the room and not realize that it's not real, that one. So that's fabulous. It's so good of you to come, and got one viewer in the room, which is live. And let's see what this one's got in it. If you look at this one, come to the other one, people, and chat with us on the other one, because we can see the chat in the other one, and it's really nice too. It would be lovely to have you there. And
so when Katie actually
don't be nasty to
leaves me with the normal screen, I'll feel comfortable enough to start chatting. It's quite difficult to...
I know it is. There you go. There we are live. And that the normal screen is, oh, for goodness sake, there's the normal screen.
Right, so we're all getting excited now. We're only 32 minutes away from start time, when the players will be walking out on grandstand court today. Alex's first match on the grandstand court. So the Miami tournament scheduler is moving players about. They even put Arina Sabalenka on an outside court earlier in the week when the rain had come and they had to get through more matches to catch up. But today, Alex on the grandstand court, first on, so it's 11 o'clock in the morning in Miami. And I think that's also a positive for Alex. As a young player, she'll have no problem being ready to go at that time. She will have done an early practice. She'll be warmed up, ready to go. I think for the more mature Muchová, an earlier start, it's just a very small challenge. She would probably prefer a slightly later start so that she can really get moving and get warmed up and go through her preparations and get all her sort of meals in place. But 11 o'clock, then they've got to get food on board early in the day and then get all their warm-ups done and the practice. And I think just for the aging body of Muchová, that's a slight negative. But Alex really has to start well today, I feel. Keep the pressure on Muchová, make her feel like she's in a match. She's not run away with her first 2 matches this week in Miami. As I said, Osorio, the Colombian, who hasn't got a big game. She doesn't have a big serve. Similar in that respect to Alex's serve. She really pushed Muchová and could easily have won that match. That was 3 close sets with Osorio winning the first set. So I take a lot of confidence from that match. Alex has got a real chance today. She has to play well, but she's got a real chance today to really push Muchová. It's going to be a fascinating first set.
There we go. I'm fixing that. They were helping me with that the title and things might not work so well because of the software. But now it's all working good. And I think I might actually have seen what the issue could be with the other one.
So just talking up Alex's chances a bit more. Muchová struggles against Coco Gauff. Their head-to-head record, Coco Gauff has beaten Muchová every single time, 5-0. Coco Gauff has won all 5 matches, including this year at the Australian Open. Coco Gauff beat Muchová in the last 16. Now, that gives me even more optimism because, as we saw, Alex dismantled Coco Gauff in that first set in Indian Wells, was well on top in that match. And I know there was an issue with Coco's left arm, but it can't have been that serious because she's playing here in Miami just 2 weeks later. So on a direct line of form, if Alex has been watching Coco Gauff's matches with Muchová on tape with her coaches, she can take some real positives from that because Coco Gauff in the last 12 months has not been playing like the young Coco Gauff who burst onto the scene. She's had struggles with her serve. She's had struggles with her forehand, as we all know now, because Alex really exposed that side of her game at Indian Wells. So for me, if Alex has watched with her team that Australian Open match between Gauff and Muchová, that's another real helpful insight into how to beat her opponent today.
Well, I think there's more of you appearing in the room from the other room. Thank you very much. Appreciate that for us. And the scoreboard should be all sorted now. And we are with half an hour to go. So what are you guys? I don't know what it's past. It's like nearly bedtime for you, isn't it? It's getting late. 10:30 at night. That's getting late. We are at 2:30 in the afternoon here. And I've seen from the chat that some people are in the room from England, which is rare for us. And hello, Mavu, hi, I would say, but hello. And thank you for coming. I've seen people from Hong Kong and people from Canada, people from all over the world, which is wonderful to see you all. And we are so very excited because, well, she's just a bit of a star, isn't she? I think I did a video this morning for you guys about, because lots of people had asked us, why do we love Eala? Why do we cover her? Why is it all about Eala for us? And it's all about Eala for us because I did a video about it. And so go and watch the last video that we did, because lots of people did watch it, and lots of people were really nice comments about it, about how much they enjoyed our story of how it's all happened. But it's all happened so quickly for us. When did she become? Did you get the video of Alex in your email? Well, I couldn't open it. I couldn't open that email, and I was a little bit worried about like software and stuff. And so, and as you can tell, Francisca, I'm not I'm quite technical. I always think I'm quite technical, but I'm not technical enough. But oh, did you think so, Seal Down? Thank Poe. Thank you. It totally agreed with all that was mentioned on that video. Thank you for watching that video. And I know that you commented, as a lot of people did. And it was just, I felt like when we very first started, we were in Spain, weren't we? We were on holiday, and it had rained and poured for about a week, and we were just bored and tired. And okay, thanks, Francesca. And so we started making these videos, and we were just covering the tennis more than we usually do even. And we found that, yeah, just the Filipinos and the Eala fans were all there and wanting to engage with us and having a chat with us. And I got a lot of people. Do you remember early on, darling? Do you remember early on? I got a lot of people saying, it's so nice to see your faces. I don't think it was our, like the beauty of us. I think it was just that they loved to see that we were real, because I must say, and I'm the same now, my feed sends me loads of Eala things.
Just proving we're real.
Yeah. I was wondering what you're doing. My feed sends us loads of Eala things, and what it does, but it's all robots, and the captions are spelt wrong, and it's really, it's a bit disrespectful, really. It's as if some bot factory somewhere has decided they're going to say things about Eala, and they do, but they don't give you any content, and they don't give you any real information, and so I think it's not very cool. Anyway, Eric, hello, Eric, mabuhay, hi, Mamsa. Do you have Filipino friend there in England? Do you know, I have one friend who I used to know when we lived in Nottingham, and she's absolutely lovely. She was absolutely lovely. And we rented a flat out to her, and she was a delight. And her name was Rosario, and she was sweet and very, very much like all of you guys, actually, very enthusiastic, very excitable, and it was just lots and lots of fun. And Jojan is saying hello. Hello, lovely to see you. Now then, I know you're all subscribing, because our subscribers are going up. You are so kind. Yes, good luck to both players. I completely agree.
Mention something else to look out for today in today's match is how often Muchová comes to the net. And Alex likes a target. She loves to pass players. She loves to hit her down the line shots, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware. Regardless of whether it's from the forehand side or the backhand side, Alex has a very accurate down the line shot, and she'll need those today to pass Muchová successfully when Muchová, and she will, when Muchová comes forward and takes up a position at the net to hit volleys. Now, I'm encouraged by the fact that last summer, Alex had some really good form on the grass courts. Now, of all the surfaces across the season, grass is a surface where players will come to the net more. And Alex, at Eastbourne last June, got to the final, beating Gracheva on the way in the semi-finals. Now, Gracheva beat Muchová last August in Cincinnati. So there's another form line. I mentioned 5 minutes ago the form line through Coco Gauff, and there's another form line through playing Gracheva. Alex beat her in Eastbourne, whereas 6 weeks later, Muchová lost to Gracheva in Cincinnati. So if Alex can really play some really good passing shots today, that will also make a difference, because Muchová will come to the net more than a lot of players on tour. Her percentage of net play is close to just over 10% of all points. Muchová is at the net, and that's a high percentage in 2026. A lot of WTA players play solely from the back of the court. They very rarely come forward and look to come to the net. You take Elena Rybakina, for example. She never comes to the net unless she's brought into the net by the opponent. Muchová, however, will follow up her first serves. If Alex hits a short return, you can guarantee Muchová will be looking to finish the point at the net if she doesn't hit an outright winner. So that will be a really interesting aspect to this game. Who wins that battle? Whether Alex can defend the baseline and win points when Muchová's at the net with some brilliant passing shots and/or the odd lob. Lobbing will be difficult because Muchová's 2 inches taller than Alex. She's 5'11", so she's got the height advantage, which will mean that unless the lob is over a backhand side as a good lob, then I suspect the more profitable shots will be low ground shots, passing shots down the line, or low to her feet, making her play a volley, but having to play it from below the height of the net. And that means she has to volley up rather than volley down, which is a much easier volley to hit. So that's going to be an interesting aspect of today's match. Any more questions before? Good luck, Alex, for the win. Absolutely.
Guys, we seem to be live in 2 different places, which is no problem for us, but because we can only answer questions in one place, if we're not answering, if you don't see, look, I'm typing in here, I'm going to go, hi guys, we're here. And if you're not in this, the one where you see that, hi guys, we're here, then pop over and find, go to the other live that we're doing, because you'll find us and we'll be able to respond. I can see you on my phone, but this is the one where we've got the scoreboard sorted.
Hi, Ramoa.
What's
good to
Ramoa
see
saying?
you. Good to see you both. She's saying good to see you too.
Oh, I love it how we have to choose whether you're girls or boys when we say Ramoa. Dan decided you're a girl. I don't know. You could be a boy. Ramoa. I don't know that name. Maybe it's a Filipino name, or it could be just anything, really. And so Seal Down has said to us that there's an interview that that Alex has done on why she speaks in Tagalog in her interviews. And I haven't seen the video, and I'm sure I will enjoy it, and I will look it out afterwards. But the thing is, it seems to me that she does it to represent her country, and she does it to represent and share the greatness of the Philippines all over the world, because that is what's happening. I told you guys last time, didn't I, that my mum gets the Times. It's called the Times of London, I think it used to be called. And everybody reads the Times in England, kind of. Well, certainly everybody, all of my mum's friends. And there's an article this week about Eala in the Times. And that means like she's completely arrived in England anyway. But we are sharing her like she's sharing her. You've got more questions?
Yes, Seal Down's asking about whether Alex should do a bit more volleying. For me, Alex should, wherever possible, play her natural game from the back of the court. She's going to stand on or just inside the baseline. That's her natural game. She takes the ball early. If she can pull off those ground strokes and not overpress by going beyond the lines and making needless errors, then she should stick with that. She needs to target Muchová's backhand. The only time I would suggest she comes into the net is if she's pushed Muchová deep on her backhand, or if Muchová's using her slice backhand. That pace of that ball will be floating over the net rather than sort of going over the net at pace. Alex could have the opportunity occasionally to sneak in towards the net and take the ball out of the sky before it bounces. So when Muchová is deep on the court and is maybe slicing her backhand, Alex can maybe come forward and hit the odd drive volley out of the air, which is a sort of cross between a smash and a volley, where there's a bigger swing, and take the ball out of the air before it's bounced. And that sneaking into the net tactic might pay dividends from a surprise element, but she doesn't want to be doing it too much. I don't see Alex coming to the net anywhere near as much as Muchova, though, today. It's going to be very much attack and defend, and the defending Alex does is making life difficult for Muchova at the net. And that's what I've just sort of talked about in terms of if she can't pass Alex, if she's not in a position to pass Alex, if Alex can't hit a passing shot because she's not in a good position to do that, she's got to try and get that ball over the net. So it's low over the net and coming towards Muchova's feet. So she's making the volley difficult, and that will give her a chance. You can expect Muchova to play drop shots today. She's a natural slicer, as I've said, on the backhand side, and you'll see her cut across her backhand, sometimes playing a very slicey backhand drop shot. So Alex will be aware of that, but she'll have to do some running today. Coco Gauff, having beaten Muchova 5 times, just referring back to Coco Gauff's record against Muchova, 5 victories the last 5 times they played. Coco Gauff's biggest strength is her defending skills. So Alex will have to defend her side of the net and try and make as many balls as possible. Yes, when she's on top in a point rally early, when she's hit a good first serve, when she's hit a great return, then she's on the attack. Play her natural game and push Muchova deep, go for the open spaces, go for her shots. But when Muchova's playing a good point, Alex will have to defend, and she will have to try and make as many balls as difficult as possible for Muchova and try and gain some of those points. And that will help her to maybe get the break of serve. Breaking serve will be harder today than it was against Lynette and Siegmund by some margin. Those 2 players were very generous with their error count. Muchova might not hit that as many winners, but she's definitely not going to hit as many unforced errors. So Alex has just got to be careful not to rack up those unforced errors by trying to hit winners too early or forcing shots too early in the rally.
This is Ramoa says we can call him Rem. And then someone has just said, Raul Sulla, who we've seen before on other live chats, he's saying, our wonderful couple. Oh, baby. My whole family are watching you now. Hello, family. You're now in the Chalk Dust family. It's a great, big, tennis-loving, Alex-loving family. Chalk Dusters, as we call you. And it's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. We are just thrilled by the amount of support we get from you and the amount of encouragement. And I know, don't you, that when you see the videos where I'm reading them, you know that it's not my words, don't you? Dan writes them. So he gets up early every morning and he writes for you and he does all the research and he writes it all out. And then I get on and I put the script in and I read it. I try to read it with passion and excitement because I am excited, but also it is Dan's words, and I think you know that, but because I don't know anything. Well, I do, and I had to make a nice cup of tea. And a lot of you have been saying, come to the Philippines, and we would absolutely love to. Maybe there's a tennis tournament we can come cover. And we've got so many. We're thinking that if we get lots and lots more subscribers, which is really going up and up at the moment, we might become good enough to get press passes, even in England or Europe or anywhere. And we're trying very hard to get press passes so that we can go to tournaments and represent you and film for you and get actual pictures, because you'll notice we don't ever break any copyrights or any laws or any rules like that. So you never get real pictures. You never get a real picture of Alex because you've got lots of pictures because that you see them elsewhere. But we just put us and things which are legal because there's copyright reasons that we're not allowed to use their pictures. It's like, but if we went to a tournament and we took them ourselves, then we could. So we're trying to get increased subs Thank you to everybody very much, because we are boomingly going up. Did you know that, darling? Do you know
I
what
didn't
subs
know.
even are?
No, it's what you pay for a magazine or a club.
It's
Your
not. It's
subs.
free. It's free on YouTube. You
It's
don't
what?
pay for it. No.
Oh, okay.
They subscribe to us. This is why it's our big fans, our really big fans.
I know, yes.
They press subscribe, and that means that when we put a video up, YouTube sends it to them, and YouTube says, "Hey, they're chatting again. Why don't you go and look at them?"
Okay.
And so the more of those we get, and thank you, then we can. Nice plan for the future to cover Alex. Well, that's the plan. So help us spread the word. I know you will do help us.
Back to the tennis.
Oh, back to tennis. Yeah, sorry, enough about me.
So today's an opportunity. As a young player, Alex should see these types of matches as a real opportunity. Nothing to lose, and just going for it. The opportunities today are more ranking points. So Alex has guaranteed 120 points after her 2 victories in Miami already. But if she were to win today, there's another 95 ranking points. So the points sort of almost double every round. So she would go from 120 to 215. She would be securing 215 ranking points if she was able to come through to today's match. And that would help her ranking. Provisionally, it would go up 7 or 8 places. It's always difficult every day because so many players around the world are playing, and so provisional rankings are just daily, hour by hour, as matches are finished and completed. But she's in the mid-40s provisionally. If she were to win, she'd be back inside the top 40. So that's an opportunity in itself, because I'm sure she didn't expect to do so well at these 2 big events in what's known as the Sunshine Swing in America. Indian Wells at the beginning of March, and then Miami in the middle of March. These 2 big WTA 1000 events where the winner gets 1000 ranking points. So Alex is doing really well because she's guaranteed herself 240 ranking points in March already, which is a good return for such a young player on the tour.
I think sometimes we forget how young she is. Sometimes we expect a lot from her. I know that's part of being a fan, really, really cheering her on and wanting her to do well. And we do, of course we do. But there's a balance, a bit like when you're raising children. There's a balance to encouraging and promoting and supporting and pushing. And I think she pushes herself enough, don't you? I think looking at her face, looking at her concentration and how seriously she takes it, I think she feels the weight of her family, of the Rafa Nadal Academy, of the Filipino diaspora, and of just me and Dan. Do you think she's heard about us? I don't think so. I'm sure she'd never heard of us. But I think she feels the weight of it. And that's why I think there's a balance to be had for us supporting her fully, wholeheartedly, praying for her, and then just letting her do her thing. And when she wins, we cheer, and when she loses, we support. And I think that's the way we need to help her, really, because she's only 20. Do you remember being 20, Dan?
Yes, as if it was yesterday.
It was just a couple of days ago.
Someone's asking there whether Alex could one day become Grand Slam champion. Well, that's a very big question, isn't it? And there's a lot of hard work ahead for Alex. The key to Alex sort of getting better and better is really getting comfortable in her surroundings. And that's why these big tournaments, Alex winning several matches, is great for her experience. She's gathering experience playing at what she would call this high elite level. And once you get comfortable and you're comfortable in those surroundings and playing these top players match after match, that is in the bank. That's your you've gathered that experience, and then you're in a much better position to have deep runs in the biggest events. So I don't see Alex winning a Grand Slam in the next 2 or 3 years because she's so young. And I say that because Sabalenka, if you look at her career path, she's only started winning Grand Slams in an age range between 24 and 28. She's now at the end of that 4-year age range. She's nearly 28. I think she turns 28 at the beginning of May. But her first win in Grand Slams was back in January 2023, so just over 3 years ago. So she was 24 and a half, give or take, years old. So Alex has got 4 years to even be at that age. So I would say that if she can keep accumulating experiences where she's competing with players inside the top 20 on a more regular basis, and she's getting used to playing it with all that comes with that intensity, where the opponent plays a brilliant match and you respond by playing brilliantly, those matches inevitably come down to just 1 or 2 points. We look at last week's final in Indian Wells, just over a week ago, wasn't it? At the weekend, Rybakina and Sabalenka played the second big final of the year, having played in the Australian Open final. Well, both those matches could have gone either way, and they did in the end. Rybakina won the first match, Sabalenka won the last match, but Sabalenka and Rybakina both had match points in the last final, and in the Australian Open final, Sabalenka had a 3-love lead in the final set, only for Rybakina to turn that match and that final set on its head and win 6-4 in the third set. So both those matches are case in points where both players played really well, yet one has to lose. And so that's very different to when you go up and you're playing ITF matches, ITF circuit on the top seed might be ranked 30 or 40 in the players don't always play their best, and for some matchups there's a clear favorite because one player has got more experience and is just better than the opponent. Whereas suddenly at these biggest events, if you're going to win a Grand Slam, you're going to have to beat players inside the top 20, not one match in the tournament, not even 2 matches, but round after round for maybe 4 or 5 matches from the 3rd or 4th rounds in a Grand Slam. So that's what I mean about accumulating experience playing these top 20 players. And today is a great opportunity because the minimum Alex will gain from this is another match against a very good player ranked inside the top 20, just like the Linda Noskova match. And that will only stand her in good stead. But in my opinion, she's got 3 or 4 years to accumulate these big match experiences, develop her own game, work on the areas of her game which need developing, whilst also sustaining her level for longer against these top players. And today, from my point of view, I'm really looking forward to seeing how different Alex approaches this match to the Linda Noskova match, where she was really, the match was over before Alex got going, and she was going for her shots and missing them only by a little bit. But the match just went, and I want to see whether Alex learns from that, and even if Muchova's on top, whether she can slow her down, whether she can make it harder for her to win the match if that's how the match is going, rather than the match running away. And I expect it to be a lot closer today. I think Alex is a very fast learner, and I think she will compete a lot better today than she did against Noskova. This first set, I'm going to be really interested because I expect it to be close. I think this is, we're going to go and have a look at the weather and see, but I'm expecting it to be hot. I think this morning start in Miami is good, and I think Alex is going to play some of her best tennis. So let's see if Muchova can match it.
You want to look at you want me to sort the weather out?
No, I want to see the weather.
Okay. And so we're being asked, can you tell me about your food and drinks watching at home versus in the stadium? God bless and Laban, Alex. Well, literally, I've got a cup of tea in my London mug, and I'm going to make Dan a hot drink in a minute because his throat goes when he's commentating. And but he has a mug with a D on it, and somebody said to us in the live chat last week that it's not usually what. Oh, I thought we were in already on this. Okay, excuse me a moment. I'm just getting into this.
I live in South Wales, not from Bristol, but lovely day here at the moment. Yes, it's been a very lovely weather in the UK the last few days, hasn't it? Long may it continue. But in Miami, they've had rain, but the sun will be out, I'm sure. We're just going to go over to the court now in preparation for the two players coming onto court in this fourth round. That means it's the last 16. There are only 16 players, and they are all playing over the next sort of 12 hours. I think the last match of the fourth round goes on in about 8.5 hours. Rebecca plays Gibson, and that's the last match. But there are 8 matches left, 16 players, and that's why we call it the last 16 for this round 4 clash. And Alex is playing the first of those last 16 matches, and following her match is the potential opponent for the winner of this match. So whether Alex wins or Muchová wins, their task will be to play the winner of Mboko and Andreeva. But we will talk more about that if and when Alex can win this match, which we're all hoping she does.
Yeah, I'm just logging into the site. It makes me change the password every time I go in, but I have no idea what's going on there. And then it makes me do a new password. So
I'm picking wild garlic while watching you guys. Wow. That's got a really strong smell, hasn't it? Wild garlic. And it does spread like wildfire, as we say here.
right, I think you can find it from there, hopefully. As if we don't have any more technical issues. Let's see.
It is sunny, and the players are soon to be out. Alex has got her headphones on, jumping up and down, and I suspect as the lower ranked player, she'll be called onto court first. But it's bright sunshine. She's wearing the same Nike kit, which I would call like a pastel-y sort of mauve colour.
Lilac. I think we call it lilac. I think it's very Wimbledon because she has the pale purple of Wimbledon and the lime green of Wimbledon. So it's like a modern take on the Wimbledon colours, purple and green. And we've got people from Germany and Wales. We've already got people from Toronto, and
but she's got her big Babolat racket bag on her back with a double strap, and they're just being introduced onto court.
And there are 110 million people, Raoul has just told us, all over the world watching this. It's a very hot day in Miami. Yes, it does look like a very hot day.
She's walking onto court, always very concentrated, and Muchová is following her out as the high-ranked player. She's in a white tracksuit top.
Is that how they do it? Do they always do it? The lower-ranked player goes out first,
yes,
and the high-ranked player gets more time in the dark to breathe and pray.
Wearing all white, so that's unusual. But she's got some strapping on her legs, but her hair's tied up, and she's wearing her what we would call headband, but it's more of a bandana these days, isn't it? To help keep her hair out of her eyes.
McEnroe wore one of them, didn't he?
He did.
And Dan will wear the one when he played tennis. I promise you, it's very funny. I'm ready for the upset. No.
Yes. Let's go, Alex. It would be an upset.
I see. Yes. I see. You're right. Apologies. You're absolutely right. Salamat Po for mentioning that. Yes.
The upset is what we want.
Alex want the upset.
Ranked, coming into the week, about 15 places behind Muchová. But as we know, because of how the points work, her points come off from Miami last year. She did a lot better than Muchová in Miami last year. And so she's got more points coming off as it stands. But Muchová will be looking forward to this match, I'm sure. When you're a senior professional and you've been on the tour, you like to take on the new players on the tour that are coming up And so she'll be trying to put one over on Alex, but as is the joys of competitive professional sport, Alex will be determined to put one over on Muchová, and that's as it should be. Both competing to win, playing with the right spirit, and I'm sure these two will put on a great match. So we're just waiting on the umpire who's going to toss the coin with a guest onto court, as is the way now at these events. The big events have some kind of invited guest to help with the coin toss.
I just got to tell you, we've got people from Australia, from Arabia. I do hope you're feeling safe in Saudi Arabia, and Hershey, Pennsylvania. And Mark Rivera from Bristol.
Little photo now. It looks like
We're in
Alex
Bristol
won the
too.
toss. I haven't kept a record on this, so maybe I should look back, but I think Alex has won the toss on all of our watch-alongs. But it looks like she had the choice there as the coin landed. And so we're just getting some of the match stats of both player being shown, but I've covered those really. So very excited as they start their warm-up.
And we're still
one side of the court, of this grandstand court. So this isn't the biggest court at Miami, but it is one of the show courts. And we've got a very full sort of seating on the right side of the court. But all four sides of this grandstand court have got no shade, no cover at all for the spectators. So I do feel for them. But it's a very, very full crowd already. I mean, not every seat's taken yet, but a lot of seats are. Lots of people in.
Wonderful. Well, all of you in whichever live stream you're in, I'm trying to have a little hello to the ones in the other live stream, and I every single time we do a live stream, I always say to you, I'm going to get better next time. And this time, well, do you remember this one? Anyone here who was here the other night? Do you remember this? I mean, it was exciting, wasn't it? That was because we had a scoreboard problem, but now we fixed the scoreboard problem. I know the analog one was quite cute. I think it was quite cute. And how are they coming along? Ball boys, ball girls, ball children in orange and blue. Beautiful sunshine. Any wind there, Dan, today?
No, it looks quite calm to me.
Someone's saying she's actually, Muchová is quite big and strong. She is big and strong.
5'11", one of the taller players on tour. The tallest players are Rebecca, she's 6 foot, Muchová at 5'11", not much smaller. So in terms of height, certainly one of the, well, I would say about the 10th tallest player on tour. Alex, I looked up her height. She's 5'9", 1.75 meters, and that ranks her about tied 40th tallest of the top 100 players currently. So she's above. She's not certainly not short for a female professional tennis player. She's slightly above average height. So I don't think that's going to be a big issue. It certainly helps your serve the taller you are. Technically, in terms of getting that ball over the net with power, the taller you are, the easier it is to hit down on the ball, but still get it over the net. Hence why a lot of the men who are well over 6 foot, indeed I'm nearly 6 foot, it's a big advantage.
No one knows that because you're always sitting down when you're commenting. Although sometimes when we were in Spain, we did a few go lives, a few short videos where you stood behind me, and then they can tell he's a lot taller than me.
So right. 24 degrees.
If you're in a room where you're finding it difficult to hear us, the volume is low, look at the chats, click on the link and go to the other room, because they tell us in that room, because we seem to be live in two places, the volume is much better in the other room, but there are more people in the room without the volume. So
really
jump over. There's 288 people in the other room. I'm trying to chat with everybody. So I'm trying to be fair. It's like having a mother with two children who both want to play with you. I'm coming over to this keyboard, and then I'm coming over to this one.
History in the making. Let's hope so.
Yes.
This would potentially be one of Alex's biggest wins if she could take Muchova, take her on today and come out with the victory. So warm-up nearly done. The players will be very happy to get this match started. And
some of them are saying that in the other room, some of them are saying that they would like us to make a video of some of the basic rules of tennis.
right.
Because they're basically massive Alex fans.
Okay.
And they're learning about tennis because of this.
Okay, well, always best of 3 sets. So one of these two players has to win 2 out of the 3 sets to win the match. And it's first to 6 games unless it's 5 games all. If it reaches 5 games all, then you have to get to 7. And if it's 6 games all, how you get to 7, the 7th game is via a tie break, which is only used if the game score is 6 games all. So Alex did indeed win the toss, and she's starting the match from this near end. First point underway. Muchova makes a good return, and Alex nets the first point to the Czech player. So we're looking for Alex to compete and keep this scoreboard close, especially in these first 6 games. Try and get to 3 all. Good first serve, pulling Muchova wide, then playing a forehand back behind Muchova. That is one of the points, the type of points I want Alex to play, and she's just executed it perfectly. Pulling Muchova wide on her backhand, opening the court up, Muchova going to try and cover it, and Alex wrong-footing her, going back behind her. Very good point, 15 all. Just missing her first serve. Second serve coming up. Alex serving a second serve to Muchova's backhand. Muchova returning it down the middle of the court. There's her first slice backhand. Alex going deep with her forehand. Muchova trying a double-handed backhand, but missing, I do believe. Yep, just waiting for the line call to confirm it. Another good point from Alex, playing to Muchova's backhand. It's no secret, and that's what she did there. She's still got to execute her shots. She's played 2 good points, 30-15 up as she serves again. Down the middle, just missing long. Will she pull her wide again with this second serve? As she serves it, she does go to the Muchova backhand, but misses long. That's a double fault. I don't mind that personally. Alex trying to be brave on her second serve, trying to go for it a bit more. There's no point just putting it in, and that was a 90-mile-an-hour second serve. So she's really putting a bit more power on that. That shows me she's learned from her Noskova match. She's really going for her serve today.
She does learn fast, doesn't she?
First serve into the net. So it's 30 all second serve. We could really do with Alex getting this first game, settling her nerves, giving her some confidence. It's a good second serve. Muchova, good forehand return. Point underway. Muchova hits a winning forehand, going back behind Alex. And there's the case in point of once Muchova put a good return into play, she had control of the point, and she sustained it with some excellent forehands. 30-40. First break point. Good first serve. Come on, Alex. And that's gone out, unfortunately. First game goes to Muchova.
Well, how old is Muchova? I know we've talked about that. How old is she?
She's nearly 30, 29 currently.
Gosh, so there's 10 years in that. Wow.
Nearly 10 years. So early days, first blood to Muchova, as they say, and that wasn't a bad game. There were 2 good points from Alex in that game. It's just she missed her first serve too often towards the end of that game, and the last 3 points, Muchova was able to get control of the point. And once she uses her forehand, then Alex is going to be under more pressure. So let's see how Alex is responding in this second game as Muchová prepares to serve. First point underway. Muchová, good forehand winner down the line. So a good first serve. Alex got it back, but it was too short, and Muchová was able to come forward and hit to the open
It was
corner.
a bit short, wasn't it?
But as I've said, Muchová's got a very good serve. So Alex has really got to take advantage of her second serves if and when they happen. Serving 15 love. She serves this time wide and long. So let's see. This is the first look at a second serve. Alex will move forward inside the baseline, looking to take this return early, giving Muchová less time to return. Alex does indeed hit a good forehand return. Now she's got on top of the ball, pushing Muchová back on the backhand side. Now she goes across to her forehand, comes forward with a backhand and just misses top of the net, trying to hit her down the line backhand, one of her trademark shots there, Alex, but just catching the top of the net. 30 love. Unlike her previous opponents, Muchová will give very little away. Both these two players show very little emotion. They're cool as a cucumber, as they say. Both Alex and Muchová are very, very cool on court. Another good first serve. Alex returning well, but follows up with another backhand error. So Alex still settling down, yet to find her best tennis. Feeling nervous, I'm sure. Trying to get a footing in this match. But it looks like experience here has started the match better, as Muchová has 3 game points to go, 2 love, and she does find her first serve, and she does take the second game. But as I've said, Alex will just want to try and find some of her best tennis and see what that does for her. How does her best tennis stand up against a quality player in Muchová? Can she find it in this third game? Let's hope she can find some first serves as she serves for the second time. Finds her first serve this time. Good short ball. Alex going for a forehand winner. And I think that caught the line. Excellent forehand winner from Alex. First point in game 3 goes to Alex. That was much better because she found her first serve. She then got a shorter return and she came in with her forehand and found the winner. 15 love. Lucky return. It caught the net. That was unfortunate.
I'm going to go and get you a drink, darling.
Muchová's return. It was another first serve landed by Alex, but unfortunately, from her point of view, Muchová's return caught the net cord and landed quite short. And Alex wasn't able to control, having been naturally caught out by the deviation caused by the net. So 15 all. Alex serves again, facing the sun, but good first serve. This is better in terms of first serves being landed. Both players hitting down the middle of the court. As Muchová goes for a cross-court winning forehand and pulls it off. It's not a bad tactic to go down the middle of the court because it prevents your opponent hitting an angle as easy. But on that occasion, Muchová made room for herself on her forehand, which is her stronger wing, and she played the out to in forehand back across, slightly cross court for a winner. Alex serves, missed the first serve, 15-30. This is the second serve. It's a good second serve. Good response from Muchová, who comes forward and leaves Alex's shot. Caught out there because she didn't attempt the volley. She came forward, Muchová, but Alex's forehand does indeed land in. It was a sort of half lob shot and it was comfortably in. So that was a mistake from the Czech player. She left the ball alone. It landed in. So we're back at 30 all. Good game to win now for Alex. Come on, Alex. First serve. Come on. It's a good first serve, but it catches the top of the net, so they have to do it again. That's a net cord, a let serve. She will get to serve her first serve again. You're right, it is sealed down. Muchova forehand is to be avoided. 30 all, serves again, first serve into the net. Yeah, Francesca is saying no score being shown here. Katie's put a link where you're watching from, Francesca. We're in another room, so you need to find the room with the scoreboard as Alex plays a good second serve, followed up by a good backhand. Can she win this important point at 30 all? She can't. It's gone long. That's unfortunate. Muchova has.
No, the scoreboard is showing on here.
It's on here, but no score shown here. So
I don't know what she means. I think that must be a mistake, a mistaken translation or something. The scoreboard is there. If she's in a different room, her chat will happen somewhere else.
Come on, good first serve from Alex. So she's trying to save this break point, but she's missed a backhand, and that's another game to the Czech player. 3 games to love. Not the start Alex's fans wanted. Muchova has started well. Alex, unfortunately, is just missing again. And despite playing the odd good point, she's not playing enough good points to trouble the Czech Republic player.
Laban, Alex, come on. Okay, and we're having a little breather, aren't we? A little break. Let's send prayers and happy thoughts and calm thoughts from all the way around the world, because we are all the way around the world here. And let's send her our prayers and happy thoughts and good vibes to bring everything she can to this game. And if that means just bring everything she can, then that's good enough, because she's such a hard worker. We need to support her in her entire career. What is it?
I don't know why Francesca can't see the score.
No, well, don't worry about that, darling, because everyone else can.
Yes, okay.
Please don't. Technical is difficult for me, but at least I know that she can see what you can see.
Okay.
And
25 degrees in Miami. The ball kids have got umbrellas up over the players at change of ends, and Muchova comes out for a second service game. Absolutely. Let's see if she can get her teeth into this service game of Muchova's, who started well today. Alex just needs to find her game and try and find her best level. That will certainly trouble Muchova, but she needs to find it as soon as possible as Muchova prepares to serve the start of this 4th game. And goes long with her first serve, second serve. She serves, and that's a double fault. First point to Alex. As Muchova uncharacteristically hits a long second serve there.
come on, Alex. Well done. This is fabulous. You can build on this. 15 love to you, Alex. Love 15.
This time, Alex goes for an early forehand off a first serve and hits the net.
In case you are in the other room, if you're in the room where currently it says 15 love, and it's only just gone to 15 all, come over and join us in this.
Third point underway. Good cross-court forehand from Alex. Can she pass? No, good interception. Muchova cut it out with her backhand volley. So there was a case in point where Muchova did come to the net. Alex defended her approach shot well, got her forehand down low to Muchova, who played a half volley and then followed it up with a winning backhand volley as Alex's down the line backhand was read by Muchova, who was there waiting for it. Muchova 30-15 serving for what will be a 4-love lead. She serves, catches the top of the net and goes out of court. So second serve. Be a good game to win from Alex. I'm sure she'll settle down if she can get her first game on the board. It's a good return. Good forehand from Muchová. Alex tried to switch it up, but missing again, catching the net. So too often so far in the match, Alex is, whether it's nerves or trying too hard, a lot of her shots at the moment are just catching the top of the net, and not getting the ball over is giving Muchová too many easy points at the moment. She's got to try and extend these rallies as Muchová serves 2 game points. Finds another winner. And that's 4 games to love for Muchová. No easy way of saying this, but at the moment, Muchová is playing her level and Alex has yet to find hers. So we just have to hope that Alex can at least slow this scoreboard down. I talked about it before the match. Just got to try and hold up Muchová a little bit longer now. Prevent the scoreboard running away for her until Alex finds her level. Good first service. Alex starts her 3rd service game, but she's gone long with her backhand.
The first set isn't everything, is it? You always say that the second set is the most important.
The second set is the most important, but as I said, Alex really needs to use the rest of this first set to just up her level, find her tennis, get a couple of games under her belt. All these kind of things will help her chances in the set 2.
Nice serve.
Just build the point. I'd like to see her get a few balls over the net here, take advantage of the fact that Muchová on her backhand side just likes to rally. She won't go for a winner off her backhand side.
Serve, darling. Change the serve.
Okay, I'm watching the point, sweetheart. This is a good extended rally as Muchová comes forward. Alex going up with the lob, but it's an easy put away for Muchová. Love 30 in this 5th game. Well, the positive from that last point was that it was an extended rally. We had lots of shots from the baseline. Alex trying to build some consistency, but ultimately one of her ground shots was too short. Muchová was able to put a good approach shot in and win the point. Love 30 as Alex serves. Good first serve.
Oh,
follows up with another error. So at the moment, she's just...
Oh, bless her. She's so young, isn't
up.
she?
She is.
I mean, she's younger than all of our children. Imagine our children putting up with this amount of pressure.
Love 40 in this 5th game. Alex serves. It's a good first serve. Good return from Muchová. Now she'll step forward, come forward to the net. Alex tries a lot, but that was over her forehand side. And the news doesn't get any better, I'm afraid. 5 games to love. Muchová leads. But she's just doing everything her side of the net well. And at the moment, Alex's level is not what we've seen her capable of. Alex can play a lot better than this. So let's see if this change of ends can change her fortunes. As we're just watching a replay of that last point, Alex tried a very deep lob. Muchová went up for the smash and found her spot, sending the smash into the corner for another winner. It'll be interesting when she played against Magda Linette. Alex played a very good first set, won it 6-3, and she had 10 winners to just 7 unforced errors. And that ratio I'll be looking for, because I suspect that ratio in this first set from Alex's point of view will be very different. She's hit a lot more errors, and I think the winners is currently at just 1. So that's what I mean about finding her level. She can play a lot better. Muchová serving for the first set. The score is correct for those of you just joining. We're trying to stay positive. Alex just needs to play better. It's the harsh reality of professional sport. As Muchová starts this sixth game, missing her first serve.
Into the net.
Alex in a trademark return position inside the baseline for this second serve. Good second serve. Muchová pulls her wide and then follows up with a forehand winner back behind Alex. And that's the challenge for Alex. Her natural game at this level will have to have some adjustments when she plays these top players. She has that same instinct, which is to move forward when the opponent's serving a second serve. But Muchová's second serve is very good, and it caught Alex off out of position a little bit. Hence, her return wasn't deep, and Muchová could put away the mid-court forehand. Serving 15-love, second serve. Alex, a much better return. That's better. She gets control of the point and she wins.
Yes.
Her second point, that was a forced error. That was a much better depth of return. It's so important that your ground strokes land much nearer the baseline than the service line. And that is what I mean by depth of return. Keeping the ball in, but as deep as possible to the baseline. Muchová goes long with her first serve. Better signs here in this sixth game. Alex looking a bit more settled as she faces this second serve. And Muchová faces a B. And that's just this. Oh, hello.
Oh.
We've got a wasp or a bee on court. And that's obviously a supporter of Alex's trying to upset Muchová a little bit, as she does get another good second serve in. Alex better this time, a good return, but Muchová's now on her forehand side, and that's almost an identical repeat of the first point, where Muchová got a short mid-court ball landing near the service line, and she naturally ran round her backhand and took it on her forehand and put the ball away comfortably into the open space, 30-15.
I think, honestly, I won't talk whilst you're... Oh.
Good first serve from Muchová brings up 2 set points.
But I'm looking at the chats down the side here, and all I'm seeing is support for her, whether she wins or loses. And that is just exactly what she needs. And it's fabulous, because honestly, you guys are just such a wonderful community for her to support her, like she supports you by being a superstar.
Muchová serving for the first set. It's a good first serve. Alex goes long with her return, and that is the end of the first set. 6 games to love. And, well, we could just move on. And the good news is set 2 is a fresh start.
Yeah.
And the beauty of the tennis scoring system means there's no point looking back over that. And we'll start with Alex serving at the start of the second set. But in terms of those stats, Alex managed just 3 winners in that set and hit 6 unforced errors and 8 forced errors. So the ratio there is a minus compared with her positive ratio in the opening set against Lynette. Muchová, on the other hand, 10 winners to just 1 unforced error, positive ratio plus 9 winners to unforced errors. And that's a big difference between the 2 players in that opening set, hence the scoreline. But we have to stay positive. We have to look at this as a learning opportunity, irrespective of anything else that happens. Alex will be learning all the time. She just has to find some sustained good tennis, and that is always going to be the case. You get no space, you get no errors off the top player's racket in the same proportions as you do with players that she's played already in this tournament. There's a big gulf between Siegmund, Lynette, and Muchová, and one of the differences is how how less generous they are with mistakes.
Did Muchova do all of her first serves? What were the stats on that?
No, she won a lot of points with her first serve. But no, she wasn't making every first serve. She won. When she got her first serve in, she was winning those points. But in terms of first serve percentage,
Dan's just looking it up for
I
you.
will just get asked these questions.
The seats are amazingly not awful.
Muchova was making 60% of her first serves in that first set, but now we're on to set 2. It's a fresh start. Alex starting. See if she can win her opening service game and at least give her some momentum in this second set. Alex serving.
Missed shot. She missed through it. Mistossed.
It's a good second serve. Point underway. Alex playing a good forehand there. Now has a chance to come forward. She comes forward. Muchova playing the lob. Alex going for the smash and wins the first point of the second set. Lavan, Alex. Come on, Alex. Let's get this first game. Let's build from there. Muchova trying a lob. Didn't get it over Alex's head, and Alex was able to put away the smash. Second point. Missing her first serve. Second serve coming up. Second serve into court. Muchova returns her backhand. Alex backhand to backhand. Muchova goes cross court. Alex goes back to her backhand. Muchova tries a slice, puts it wide. 30 love. This is more encouraging.
This is great.
But Alex fans as she's starting this set 2 with more consistency, making Muchova play, less mistakes off her racket.
What are you thinking of her serve at the moment as you see it?
Yeah, she's definitely going for a bit more power on her second serve. At the moment, her first serve percentage is sort of down at 60%. So she needs to get that percentage up a bit more. But if anything, she was taking a bit of pace off her first serve in the first set. As she misses her first serve again and now misses her forehand as the point does.
We're being asked
start.
if we believe in curses or malas in Tagalog. To be honest with you, no, we don't believe in that. And we certainly don't believe that she's got a curse again.
Well, we could ask the community why they believe in a curse. Is that something that...
Or whether they believe. A lot of people were talking about it this morning on social media. We're talking about the curse of the Czechs. But
no curse. Yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah.
Although, as we've started talking about a curse, Alex has just double faulted to bring the score to 30.
So let's not talk about that anymore.
Thank you to Michael, who's complimenting the commentary here.
Oh,
I will take that. Thank you very much. Alex, 30 all.
Better than Cam Williams.
Come on, Alex. Here we go. Let's get this point. Good first serve. Muchova, good return. Alex gets it back to her backhand. Now she comes forward. Alex tries to extend the rally, but that's very short over the net. And unfortunately,
she left it just as
we have another break point.
There for the smash, wasn't it?
Muchova's won the last 3 points.
Yeah.
The whole momentum of this game changed with that double fault, unfortunately, at 30-15. 3 points. You just cannot afford to give away 3 points to these top players. Every point is a battle. And she's now serving, second serve at 30-40. Good second serve, point underway, but Alex misses her forehand, and that's unfortunately the first game of the second set to Muchova. And that came about from 3 errors from 30 love up. Alex missed 2 ground strokes, hit a double fault, and Muchova played 1 good point.
We got bageled. I find that a funny phrase. That's what Mark Rivera is saying.
Yeah, she's lost her rhythm. Well, she's not really had her rhythm in this match. It's a big match for Alex. She's come onto court, I'm sure, very excited, wanting to do well. And so far, she's not got going. She's not won one game, and that makes life very difficult because it's very hard when the scoreboard is against you in such a way as it is at the moment to believe that it's your day. Alex has to stay in the present. She can only affect the point that's in play at the moment, and that's a good start in this second game as Muchová goes long. Yeah, it's hard, easy to say, hard to do, but she has to stay in the present. She has to try and forget about what's gone. She can't change the past. She can only make a difference on the point that's about to be played as Muchová serves love 15. It's a good first serve, a good return from Alex. Come on, Alex. As she comes forward, she goes long with her approach. Difficult to watch. As fans of Alex, it's always difficult to watch when the match seems to be going wrong for her today. But I'm sure she'll keep fighting. She'll keep trying her best, trying to get a game on the board. 15 all. As Muchová bouncing the ball on the first serve. Half an hour gone. Just half an hour. Good first serve. And there's a good forehand. Alex trying the lob, but that's gone out of court. Couldn't control the power off the ground. And we're at 30-15. So Muchová doing exactly what you'd expect. She's keeping the pressure on. She's trying to avoid giving any free points to Alex. She doesn't want to let her back into the match, and she's doing everything right. And very little Alex can do about it as Muchová hits her backhand down the line for a winner off another short return. So at the moment, Alex is finding it hard to get any depth on a lot of her shots. When she is making the shots, it's landing short. And as we know, Muchová is one of the players that is the most comfortable coming forward. At 40-15, Muchová not missing one shot at the moment. That ball landed right on the corner of the line and the baseline in court for another winner. This is reminiscent of the Wimbledon final, so it can happen to the best players. Amanda Anisimova lost the first set in the Wimbledon final 6-love and found herself 2-love down in the second set. And unfortunately, Alex is in the same predicament. I think this is really the last game where Alex can get a foothold in this match. She really needs to win this game to have any chance for me in this second set as she starts this third game. Good first serve. Let's build the point, Alex. That's a better forehand. Putting...
is it a bit long?
Yes. Putting the pressure on Muchová's backhand, but then she goes long and she knows it. No one needs to tell Alex. She knows it herself. She doesn't need me to tell her. As she moves on, love 15. Just got to try and limit the mistakes. Muchová slices the return back. Now they're going backhand to
Surely
backhand.
That was long.
But this time...
And she does a fist pump.
Muchová
bless you,
long.
Alex. You get a chance to do a fist pump. She's keeping her pecker up, isn't she?
Yeah,
is that a phrase you have?
Yeah, you have to. It's really difficult to stay positive in this situation, but she's trying her best.
And if anyone can, between her and Mboko, I'd say they're the best people who can. Oh, bless her, into the net.
Second serve. She'll have to be brave here, go down the middle possibly with a bit more power.
And
she does go that way. Now she's putting it on the backhand of Muchová. Now she's trying to find her range, going deep with her cross-court forehand, but she's left a big gap down her backhand side. And Muchová, unfortunately, if you are Going to play Muchová, you have to cover that down the line shot, especially when she ran round her backhand like that. She's only going to go for that winner, and she did pull it off. 15-30. Misses the first serve.
Oh, bless her. Cotton socks.
Alex serves again. Good serve. Muchová, good return, good forehand. That's the best shot Alex has hit this whole match, and it brings up 30 all. That was an excellent forehand. That will give her confidence, especially if she can now follow it up by taking this first game of the match from her point of view. 30 all. These next 2 points, fingers crossed, because the whole of this second set really depends on this game, I feel, as she serves 30 all. It's good first serve. The point underway. Muchová goes long.
Oh, she's ahead. Is this the first time she's been ahead? And
she has, yes. This is the first.
No, I think she was actually a little bit earlier in the first set. This set, though.
First game point in the whole match. She got to 30 all in the first game and one other service game, but this is the first game point Alex has had. This is a must. Come on, Alex. She makes her first serve, but Muchová finds a great forehand down the line winner.
Juice. This is it's going to be pineapple juice.
The first juice game of the whole match.
And somebody's asking, RZR is asking about the crowds. Not very many of them.
Yeah, it's deceptive because the side behind the umpire's chair is very full.
Okay, so we just can't see that one.
The sides that you can see
great serve.
Not as full. Great backhand from Alex.
And every time
she gets another chance here.
And when Muchová lost it there, it sort of went off into the crowds. I mean, it really lost it. Really lost it. Alex Eala.
Yeah, it's advantage, but we haven't got the A. I don't know what's happening with the scoreboard.
There? No?
Yeah, I've just pressed that.
Oh, of course you have.
Advantage, Alex, as she serves. Second chance to win this third game.
Eala's serving as well.
Good forehand. Oh, she's gone long with another forehand. That's disappointing. Yeah, it's not me, Katie.
I know it's not, darling.
We're back to juice. Alex taking her time. This third game would really help her settle down. Come on, Alex. She's played a couple of really good shots in this game already. As she serves juice. Goes for a big first serve. That was 96 miles an hour first serve, but it's just gone wide.
But that's really good for her. That's getting that speed up.
Now, relying on a second serve. Muchová attacks her second serve with a forehand, and Alex goes long. See what's that about?
Having a few problems with our scoreboard here.
It's advantage Muchová. As Alex misses her first serve. This is a chance for Muchová to break and take a 3-love lead.
Advantage Muchová.
Good positive forehand from Alex. She now plays a slice to Muchova's backhand. Muchová slices it back. Now she sets up an open court. Alex got wrong-footed, and we're at 3 games to love in this second set. And there's very little to say, I'm afraid. Alex had her chances in that game, but the 2 game points came and went, and Muchová took the game with another forehand winner. And at the moment, this is quite difficult to watch because I can count on one hand the same quality of tennis Alex has played today that she played against Lynette. And this is the brutal side of the sport. If you play a poor game against a top player, the score shows no sympathy whatsoever. These players are all about the W, win and move on. And that's what Muchová will be thinking. She will not be showing Alex any sympathy.
But Alex will be learning, won't she? I mean, she's such a student of the sport that, and you've always said, haven't you, you need to play people who are better than you to get better.
Yeah.
And so, given that she's 20 and given that she's not yet world number one, she needs to play these and be able to get over them mentally and learn from them.
Yeah, it's much easier for Muchová to play at a high level because she's been playing it for years. And this is what I said about it's a good opportunity for Alex to get this type of match under her belt. Every time you play a really good player, you get a bit better at sustaining your level, the required level. And Alex has only played a few points, but at least those few points under her belt, and she will be better for all these types of experiences. And tough losses are where you learn the most. So let's see how she finishes this second set as Muchová starts the fourth game, serving 3-love up. Alex couldn't deal with that good first serve. So Muchová using the advantage a right-hander has, which is to the deuce court, and swinging her first serve, pulling Alex very wide and on her backhand side. Although she got her racket on the ball, she couldn't keep it in. Alex, better return. Follows it up with another good deep backhand. That was better.
Into the net. Okay, 15-all.
Yeah, lower ranked players can compete with the high ranked players. They just have to play well. There's no substitute for playing your best tennis. And Alex hasn't played the best tennis yet. It's that simple. That point, another good point. She found a good deep return. She followed it up with another good deep ground stroke. She attacked Muchová's and Muchová put it in the net. You've got to force the errors. You've got to play good tennis. And we now in the third point, Muchová wrong footing Alex, who was covering the other side. Muchová went back behind her.
She does look like a cat with a mouse on a piece of string. Muchová is just saying over there, over there, over there, and she's really having to run fast and stretch. And given that she's the youngster,
it's a better return. Muchová finding the lines. That was a great shot. Yeah, Muchová's playing well. And this is something that if you're the name, Alex Eala is the name in the circuit. Everyone wants to beat Alex at the moment, a bit like Raducanu a few years ago. Whenever you go onto court, there'll be a little extra sort of motivation to beat Alex Eala because she's very popular. But that's not going to get it done. And she's despondent. There's no doubt about it. This is tough to watch. She makes another mistake. Forehand goes into the net. And really, this is the last chance now for Alex, really, to get a game on the board.
Oh, she will learn. You're right, Wolverine. It's hard to watch, isn't it? Very hard to watch. Come on, Laban. Oh, bless you. Her face. Oh, little face.
As this fifth game's underway, Alex, a better forehand, following up a good first serve. Now a double-handed backhand. That's much better. That's the tennis we know.
Laban. Oh, come on. Let's change it up a bit. We've got ourselves into a doldrums here, haven't we?
Great tennis there. A really good constructed point. And there's Alex's double-handed backhand, cross-court winner. And a yelp of, come on. She wants to at least show the crowd and all the fans watching her from all around the world some of her best tennis. And now we're into the second point. And that's a good lob.
That is a great lob.
Great lob.
And a lob back again.
And there,
Oh,
it's the right play.
it was.
It's the
Oh,
first time, I think we mentioned it, first time Alex pushed Muchova deep. She got a high looping shot, so she came forward to try and take that ball out of the air on the volley. But unfortunately, as you can tell from my voice, she hit the net with it. So that was difficult.
she's
But it was
really
the right
keeping it
play.
together mentally.
Yes, we will protect Alex.
We
No
will.
matter
We
what.
will. And that is so true, you know, because if she was a Brit, we'd start piling in and telling her she was terrible, but not Alex. No, you Filipino wonderful Pinoy power will not do that to her. You will look after her and support her. And I love that about you guys. Well, I think you know, Nancy, why we don't have a video with the game. It's illegal and we would be shut down as a channel. And we didn't want to do that to our fans.
Muchova goes long, 30-15. So another game where Alex has got to 30. Can she now win 2 more points and get a game on the board? It will certainly make us feel a lot better. No player likes being bageled twice because that's known as a double bagel.
Or a double donut if you're in America.
Alex serving 30-15, just going long with her first serve.
Come on, Alex. Laban. Sulong.
Good. Come on, a
You're
good
a
second
fighter.
serve.
Catabanera.
It is a good second serve. Muchova gets it back, though. Good backhand from Alex, and that's gone wide. Oh, it's gone wide.
Yes,
Now Alex
yes.
can come forward.
Yes! Put it there, baby. Woo!
We have daylight in this game. It's 40-15.
Come on, Alex. Wouldn't this be
Muchova's shot
amazing?
looked like it was going wide. It actually caught the top of the net, and it sat up. Very short ball. Alex came forward as she had to, and this time made the forehand volley to give herself 2 game points. This will make her feel a lot better. Serving 40-15. First serve in court. Now the backhand following it up. Now cross court forehand. Muchova keeping the ball in and now coming to the net. But Alex has made her play.
Yes! She's on the scoreboard! Woo! Oh, love her.
That will make her feel a lot better.
Yes.
She was helped a little bit there at the end where Muchova, I think, hit probably her worst shot of the match and sent a forehand about 10 yards over the baseline. But none of us will mind. Alex deserved that game. She played some good points and she'll be relieved that the score has now moved in her favour.
We often get people putting in the comments, the ball is round. And we always think, oh, that's a nice thing to say. And now someone's just explained it to me. There's a saying in the Philippines. Oh, it's Mr. Sealdown. Bilog and bowler. The ball is round. Everyone has a chance to win. The ball is round. And presumably that's a phrase not just about tennis. It's about any, like cricket and football. I assume, because if it was just about tennis, we might have heard of it. But that is true, fans. Win or lose, we love Alex. Exactly, we do. We do. We support her. We love her. And we help her. And you can't help someone by criticizing them when they don't win. You can't, and not, it's just not reasonable to expect a human to win everything. Yours sounds much clearer. Oh, mine sounds much clearer than yours, Dan. Well, he's got his microphone on. And do you know what? I'm afraid. Tell me, everyone else. I just speak louder than Dan. It might be that. But everyone else is saying that it's all right. So I'm not sure what that is about. Just one person, I'm afraid.
Okay, so 4-1, Muchova serving. Alex on the scoreboard. Let's see how these 2 games go with that confidence behind her of winning a game. Will Alex now follow it up as Muchova serves, and Alex does indeed win the first point. Slightly embarrassing as that's the second time in the match Muchova has let the ball bounce, thinking it had gone out, but it landed in. Love 15. Muchova serving, love 15, and finds another first serve. Alex, good return though. Goes deep with her backhand. Muchova can't handle that. An excellent length shot, pushing Muchova deep out of court, and her follow-up forehand hit the top of the net. Love 30. Come on, Alex. Momentum is now with her. It's only a small amount of momentum, but it's definitely a bit of momentum. And that could lead to some bigger momentum if she can now string some good shots to win this 6th game. That's disappointing. As she nets a forehand, she got the return into play. She got Muchova, pushed back, but she followed up with a tame forehand, I'm afraid. 15-30.
Can you just lift that for a second? They're saying they missed the manual scoreboard. It's okay, guys. It's here. We got it. It's going to be chalked as history. It's going to be in the archives when we're huge and we've got thousands of followers, and you guys were just the beginning. And when we have that, then that will be in the archives.
Alex has a look at a second serve here. 15-30. Muchova's missed her first serve. Point underway. Alex has got to get the ball onto her backhand. She does so that time. Now she'll go down the line. Good length. Now what can she do with this forehand? Pushing Muchova back.
Oh, she was working so hard. So many of those shots were just dynamite.
Unfortunately, as you can see, Muchova won that point. It was a good point, and Muchova has done that a few times. Alex's court position was slightly too far over on her backhand side, and Muchova found the open space. And that's something Alex can learn from today, is that her movement off the ball could be improved. She's just hanging, positioning herself on the court slightly too far to one's corner during some of these rallies, and it's leaving Muchova with a big open space. And Alex just needs to look at her court position after each shot, because Muchova is very good at exploiting that open space. She now has a game point for 5-1, misses her first serve.
Laban, Alex, Laban, so long. Come on.
Katie looking for Alex to hit harder on her return here.
Hat out that return ball.
She's certainly pressing now on this second serve. It's a good second serve, and Alex does indeed go for it, but unfortunately
into the net.
That game has now gone. And after just 51 minutes, there's no more room for error. Muchova on the cusp of winning this match. 6-love, 5-1 up. She's played very well, clearly, to be in this position. But Alex will want to win this game. Just to get to another change of ends. Trying to hit a good first serve, 98 miles an hour, but found the net. Second serve. Into court. Rally underway. Muchova hitting the forehand. Alex goes to a backhand. There's a slice backhand. Alex trying to hit off that low bouncing slice. Couldn't control her forehand and put it wide.
Someone has said that it's nice to hear Katie's way of describing two in the woman's point of view. That's the part. We're just the yin and the yang of tennis, Dan and I. And also someone else has said that he thinks that you say Muchova, not Muchova, but we don't know. He says he's not sure.
Yeah, a lot of the tennis commentators or the pundits that I've seen use the name Muchova. So, but I'm sure the Czech Republic way of saying it is probably the way you're saying.
Miles out. I mean, miles out. Practically hit our garden, that one.
That was out from Muchova's racket.
Yes, sorry. Out. Well, I was pleased about it. They would know that.
You're very much like a Filipino, aren't you, in terms of your
support? I think so. One day I might grow up and become a Filipino. I'd love that.
Alex serving 15-all, trying to get a second game. Muchova not for the first time, lands her forehand as Alex plays to her forehand, 3 shots in a row. 4th time she goes to the Muchová forehand, and the 5th time, surprising Muchová, and it forces the error.
Come on!
That was very brave off
Love
Alex's
on,
racket.
Alex!
5 times she went to the forehand. Muchová wasn't expecting it 5 times in a row, and it duly won the point because Alex kept the ball deep and in court. Error-free point, gives her the point. Much better. As she serves 30-15, pulls Muchová wide. Muchová goes long. It may be quite late in the match, but Alex is finding some consistency now. Sadly, quite late in the terms of the scoreline, but it's giving us something positive as she serves 40-15. Something positive for the fans. She can compete at this level. I know people think Muchová's played really well today, but Alex is capable of playing at this level. She just needs to improve her consistency. But the good news is she's now got 2 games in this second set. Muchová will serve for the match 5-2.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's very easy to say, but in professional women's tennis, sometimes close matches are well over 200 points in duration. So you're going to have to win, as Roger Federer says, closer to 54% of those points, certainly just over 50% of those points, more often than not, to get the victory. So Alex has got to learn to play potentially 100 to 120 points really well. The better players, the higher ranked players, like Noskova 2 weeks ago, like Muchová today, playing just 10, 20, even 30 good points is not going to be enough. And today Alex has played her best points in this last passage of the set. So in the last 3 or 4 games, she's been more consistent, made less unforced errors, and she's playing some good points. But as from my perspective today, if she's played 10 good points, that will be about it. And 10 good points has won her 2 games. So that just shows you what I mean about proportions of a match. You have to play at a high level to beat this type of caliber of opponent. You're going to have to play 100 good points at your best level. And this is why it's a learning curve. And today she's found her level 10% of the time, if that. So although it's honest feedback, this is where the difference is between her game right now and where it needs to get to. And to get experience of playing the best player, she has to win some matches to get this opportunity. So it's great that she's playing Muchová today because she's earned that opportunity. As Muchová wins the first point with another forehand winner down the line. And that's the thing, when a young player like Alex, you look at their first year or 2 on tour, they're playing at a lower level, they play WTA 250 events, they win lots of matches, which is great, but they're not playing this caliber of opponent. So it's quite difficult to measure where you're at in the game if you're not playing these top-ranked players week in, week out. But the good news is Alex is now playing these higher-ranked players much more regularly. So she will learn how to play at a high level for a longer period within each match. And today it's been clear that she's not competed at a higher level for long enough, as Muchová has taken the first 2 points in this game that she needs to win the match. And she finds another good first serve. And this time Alex trying to hit a backhand with some power
Oh,
across
I don't
the
want it to
court.
end like
But
this.
unfortunately, we're now at 3 match points for the Czech Republic player.
Oh, look at the flags on the scoreboard. They're quite similar.
It looks like
Into the net. Come on. Do you think she could do a comeback from here?
DJ is telling us what is happening as Alex has saved the first match point. That was too early.
No, don't be doing that, darling. You just watch that. You commentate on what's happening, not what they're saying in the chat. You can't do it all.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Alex has had some good wins against top 10 players, absolutely.
Come on, Alex. Laban. Into the net again. And actually, she really was surprised. Muchová was surprised by that, and Alex was buoyed up. We never give up. Never say die. Come on, Alex. Come on, Laban. Sulong. Come on, baby. You can do it.
Third match point for
You
Muchová.
play
Alex
for
has
her.
to save this third match point to keep this match going. Muchová takes her time, finds a good first serve. Good return from Alex, though. Oh, great shot
Lob.
from Muchová, and that will be the game, set and match, I'm afraid. So, despite Alex's improvements at the end of that second set, she comes forward. They give each other a hug at the net. The match is over. Karolína Muchová goes through to the last 8, the quarterfinal, having beaten Alex 6-love, 6-2. So, quite a lot of parallels with the last event in Indian Wells. I was hoping Alex would perform better than she did against Noskova. Today's match was quite similar. Same scoreline in respect of Alex won 2 games against Noskova. She's won 2 games today against Muchová. So I'm sure she'll be disappointed. But that, as I've said, is elite sport at the highest level. I agree with you. She has had isolated wins. Some of those top 10 players are not of the same caliber as Muchová at the moment. You can play a top 10 player when they're winning lots of tennis matches and in good form, or you can play a top 10 player who's out of form. And Paolini and Coco Gauff are not in form at the moment. So Alex had a different competitor today. Muchová is in a different vein of form today, and she played a good, solid match. But Alex just will be disappointed because Alex would have wanted to test out her level against Muchová, and she just, for the majority of the match, she didn't play her best tennis, and that means she'll go off disappointed because she'll be feeling like, I have no idea if my best tennis could have pushed Muchová today because I didn't play my best. And so she'll be disappointed from that perspective. But as I said, a good learning experience. So
yes, it's a wonderful experience. And as Nemo was saying, you know, we breathe in, we breathe out, and we'll be here tomorrow. And she's given us a great run in Miami, you know, hasn't she? And look at Indian Wells. And where are we going next?
We're going to Austria. So a lot changes now for Alex. She's got.
Can we go?
Can we go?
Can we go?
We can try and go.
We can try and go. If we get more subscribers, we can get press passes. And if we get press passes, we can do you live, not in the not in our living room, but at the courts. That would be fun, wouldn't it? And she's just done I mean, look, her parents must be so proud of her. Imagine. Can you imagine? And Rafa. I wonder if Rafa's there. I bet he would be, wouldn't he?
He gets invited to some of these events, but I don't think he will have gone to Miami from Spain this week. He was invited most weeks to tournaments, isn't he? Federer goes to the odd event as well, and they do a lot of work to promote the game behind the scenes. I'm just looking to see when the next event is, and I think, yes, there we go. Monday, the 6th of April. So here we are, Monday, the 23rd of March. So Alex has 2 weeks off now. I expect she won't play next week. She's entered in Austria, which is a WTA 500 event. That won't have all the top players at that event. But what's significant about April and April the 6th for Alex is that it's a change of surface. And so Alex will be going on to the clay. The clay courts are a lot slower, not dissimilar to Indian Wells, but that was obviously on a hard court. Very slow conditions. The clay courts are very slow. So there's a lot to do for Alex. She will have to learn from this match, get over the traveling from Miami to get back across into Europe. She'll need to take a few days off, I would suspect. She's had a lot of tennis in March at these two big events, and so she'll take a couple of days off. She'll travel across to Europe, and then she'll acclimatize and start training on the clay in preparation for that event. That begins her clay court season, which will be nearly 2 months on the clay, right through to the end of the French Open, which finishes the first weekend in June. So lots to consider and think about. So anyone with questions about what's next for Alex, please share.
We've just a few little pointers. Yes, Mr. Gift from Heaven, thank you for being with us, because it's just so lovely to be in this positive, tennis loving, Alex loving environment all together, all the Filipinos and all the diaspora and us. And there are some other people from England, but I think they might be Filipino, but it doesn't matter, does it? We all want the same thing. We're all having fun in the same place. Doesn't matter really where you're from. But I have to say, you guys and your culture is something that Dan and I are learning about at the moment, and we're loving it. And so thank you very much for sharing everything that you've been sharing with us. And the way you all support her, come hell or high water, come win or lose. You know, it's like being a parent, isn't it? You can't tell your child that they're terrible because they lose something. It's how they learn. And so, and she's learning. So she's doing great. I'm proud of her. Naka proud. Are you Naka proud, baby?
Definitely. At 20 years of age, she's definitely on the right course.
And Mr. Rainier is here. Thank you.
Hello,
Mr. Rainier, one of our very first subscribers, I think, who helped us right at the beginning by just jollied everybody along and got all of his employees to watch our feed, and has always been a big supporter. And we just wanted to say how grateful we are to you. And it's lovely that you're in this feed, because I was worried you in the other one that meant you couldn't actually possibly hear him and the score was a bit behind. But you're here. Thank you. Thank you very much. And it's great to see you. It's funny, isn't it, this one-way screen business? I feel like I know all these people because I know their names, but I don't know them at all. And actually we were talking with another group, or often a chat on another video. It was about coming over to the Philippines.
Yeah, that's a good point made from is it Desenia? It was the first time they'd met Alex. First time she'd met Muchová, and you're right. Much easier the second time, having played an opponent, to work out exactly what's going to expect off their racket. So,
and what are we thinking in terms of WTA points now? The ranking. What does this mean for her in terms of ranking?
Well, in the immediate future, nothing will happen. Provisionally, Alex will be about 45 in the world. That will adjust as these matches finish off in Miami. But come the end of Miami, so at the end of this coming weekend, after the final, that's when to look at the rankings. And Alex probably won't move too much from being in the mid-40s, which will mean at the very biggest events, if her ranking stayed around 45 in the world, she wouldn't be seeded as she has been these last 2 weeks. But I expect her to pick up some points on the clay. And the reason I can say that with confidence is that Alex didn't win many matches on the clay surface last year. So I will just remind you how she did on clay last year, and that will kind of confirm to me how many points she's got to defend. So Alex last year won one match in total from Madrid, Rome, and the French Open. So there are 3 big events, and Alex only won one match. So if she does better than that in terms of across those 3 events, she'll have more points and go higher up in the rankings. And in addition to that, her first clay event last year was at the ITF level, whereas this year we know she's going to a 500 event. She's going to Austria. She's entered into Austria, and that's an indoor clay court event. So that's a fresh opportunity. So if she could win some points there, win a couple of matches there, that would also boost her ranking. So what I'm hoping is that Alex could maybe win 1 or 2 matches at each event, then that would boost her ranking by 200 to 300 more points and get her back close to the top 30 in the world. But she would need to win 1 or 2 matches at each of the 4 events she's playing.
And Seal is asking, I think, a very insightful question there, saying, do you think she'd be better off doing 250 and 500 events than the thousands, or can you do all of them, or what's a good strategy? I know you have a different strategy for Raducanu than her coach does.
Yeah, the good news is the 1,000 events don't really clash. So these two events Alex has just played in Indian Wells and Miami, they didn't clash with a 250 or 500 event because they're not on the schedule at the same time. There are some really small events on at the same time, but if you're in the top 100 in the world, you're going to play the 1,000 events because they're standalone in the calendar. And that's the same for a Grand Slam. So really the Grand Slams and the WTA 1000 events, there are 10 across the season. With the Grand Slams, that's 14 events in total. Those 14 events, unless you need the rest, unless you're injured, then where the points are the most points are available. So every win is worth more points. So those are the 14 events that if your rankings inside the top 100, you're going to play those because there's nothing else to go and play. It's outside of those 14 events that scheduling becomes very important because you want to play your best tennis at the big events. So if you're overplaying in between, then that can kind of be counterproductive. So last year, Alex played a lot of smaller events because she was trying to get her ranking as high as possible. And she was coming from a ranking that was outside the top 100. When she started 2025, she was outside the top 100. Now, she made a massive difference. The wildcard this time last year helped her get into Miami. And of course, we know now she got all the way to the semi-finals, which is fantastic. And those 390 points boosted her ranking inside the top 100. But she played a lot of 250 events last season. She won't this year while her ranking's inside the top 50, top 60 in the world. She'll get direct entry into 500 events. And that's where she's going in a couple of weeks. She's going to a 500 event in Linz. And then after that...
That's the one we want to go to.
The schedule is very...
If you can get us enough more
very
subscribers.
set because the clay court season's quite short, and so they've got big event after big event. So we know Europe quite well, and they're all in quick succession. So Madrid, and then Rome, and then Paris. So they go from Spain to Italy to France and play 3 big events, 2 1,000 events, and then the French Open, the Grand Slam. And so there isn't really there's no scheduling problems for Alex. She will just go to those 4 events she'll play on clay.
I'm just so impressed by the chat here, darling. The chat here is all saying, look, this was her study game. You know, that's how they're taking it. That's how, and it's so right. They don't expect her to go in and win everything. They don't expect her to go through and win the whole of the Miami Open, you know, off the bat. they're saying this was her study game. She did it, she played it, she's learning, and she learned. And I just love, I mean, I love her attitude, but now I'm getting to know you guys all a bit better. I feel like I can tell where she gets her attitude from. Maybe it's a Filipino attitude, and it's very good, very positive, very supportive, and not going to crack her mentally. So then you can see why she's better than the other girls, frankly.
Yeah, I don't expect Alex to win a title on clay this year either. I think it's a learning process for Alex, very much against these top players, as you've just said, Katie. But it's also going to be a learning experience on the clay. But where I do expect, and I agree with Sealdown, is where there's a real possibility of a title is on the grass that follows the clay court season in June, and that's where the schedule Alex chooses is a bit more choice here for her to decide. There are 250 events on the grass, and they're all 500 events, and it will be interesting whether she goes to Germany or comes to the UK. Last year, she stayed in the UK for nearly a month and played.
Oh, we might go meet her.
She played in Ilkley, then in Nottingham, then in Eastbourne before finishing in Wimbledon.
I'll take her some adobe chicken.
And looking at that, unfortunately, by the time she got to Wimbledon, she'd played a lot of tennis on grass, and she'd had a run to the final in Eastbourne. But I think on grass, Alex has the best chance of a title because she could choose to play a 250 event. And with a ranking around 40, 45 in the world, she would probably be one of the top 2, 3, 4, certainly in the top 4 seeds, because the very top players don't tend to play the 250 events. And so that would be the first opportunity for a title for me on the grass. And then after that, back on the hard court is another opportunity where there's more options in terms of choosing a 250 event. But I would expect Alex to play four events at the 250 event, WTA
Really?
250
This
event.
year?
This year, that's the kind of number of events.
So she might play Nottingham and Eastbourne's 500,
I think,
isn't it?
yeah, she might play one event on grass.
Eastbourne, that's right.
A 250 level, and I think she might play 1 or 2 on hard courts, one before the US Open, and maybe 1 or 2 in the Asian swing.
Oh.
But you'll know better than us in terms of the Philippine Open.
Is that January?
That might be later on. That might even be a 125 event.
I think no, it is. They've talked to me about that. I think it was in January, and I'm not sure it's every year yet. I think it might have been the first time they played it was this January.
Yeah, you're saying no longer play 150 events. Yeah, you wouldn't expect it to play. It's a 125 event, so obviously the numbers halve or double depending on where you start. But 125s are the lowest WTA sort of sanctioned events. Then 250 events, and then so on. There are other events with less points, which are ITF level. But in terms of WTA, 125 events, some of the players do play them. So Emma Navarro, who's really struggling for wins, she played in Austin after losing in the first round at Indian Wells. So only a few weeks ago, she lost in Indian Wells, and desperate for wins, she went and got a wild card into a 125 event
in Texas. Quite a few of them played there,
and there were a few. Paula Badosa went. So
Stearns.
So yes, you could say that if everything goes to plan, she won't be playing that level. But sometimes, if form dictates that you need to find some wins, they do drop down and play sort of at very short notice. They'll ring up the tournament and say, "Can I get a wild card into playing at a 125 level?" But I don't see Alex doing that at the moment because her career's on the right path and she's doing well. She's won 4 matches at these 2 big events.
I didn't know that. Is that a rule of the WTA? The top 10 are prohibited from playing the 125. It would make sense, wouldn't it, for them to do that?
That's a rule I've not heard, but they wouldn't need to play a 125 event. We've got the rule's probably true. I just don't know about that rule.
It would never come up, would it, really? Because somebody in
If
the
their
top 10
rankings
wouldn't.
inside the top 10 currently, they wouldn't play. Emma Navarro was in the top 10. She's dropped to about 27th in the world, and she went and played. Paula Badosa was in the top 10, but her ranking had dropped outside the top 100 in the last year. So she went and played. But yeah, it tends to be the form that dictates that. And remember, provisional ranking is very different to the rankings that we probably see in the headlines, because those rankings are updated daily. So now you could click on the WTA rankings and you'll see Alex's provisional ranking, and you'll see Muchova's provisional ranking, and they will have changed because of that result. Muchova will have gone up one place to 13th in the world because she's gained those 95 ranking points from that victory.
So
same time as the Australian Open. Is that the Philippine Open? Same time?
I think you're saying same type of game, maybe? I don't know. Take note. She did not play horrible. It is just that the playing style of Muchova did not give Alex a breathing room. She was put in the defensive for most of the game, and that's from Nathan. Well, there's, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's used the word horrible. That's your chosen word. I've said throughout today, Alex just didn't play her best level.
Yeah.
That's not using the word horrible, is it? It's just saying she didn't play her best level.
I don't think Nathan's telling us anyone used that word.
No, but I think Muchova played a very solid, good match. It's just the more experience you have at playing these players at that level, the more your level gets better. And Alex will just be disappointed. She'll have wanted to play her best level, make no bones about it.
So she'll be more disappointed about not playing her best level than she will be about losing effectively. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes. As a tennis player, you want to do the things you control well. You can't, if Muchova plays brilliantly, there's nothing Alex can do about that in respect of her racket. Muchova's in control of her racket, but Alex is from her side of the net. Alex will want to do her best, and for the majority of the match, Alex made mistakes, and you could say that some of those mistakes were forced by Muchova, but her coaches will be looking at that match and they'll be helping Alex get better, and that's all, the whole point, isn't it? That's why she's in professional sport, to do her best and get as good as she can possibly be. So absolutely, she's very young at the moment, and when she's 3 or 4 years older, then she'll be beating players like Muchova regularly.
Yes, well, she will, because the other thing is, of course, Muchova will be 3 or 4 years older too, and that'll put her outside the sweet spot of women's tennis, really. But yeah, if there's anyone here who hasn't subscribed already, please subscribe. That's what they tell me to say. And you guys are subscribing over time by time, and really appreciate it. And thank you so much for all of your support. We really love it. And it just means that if you subscribe to us, we know that you're going to see more of the.
You're right, Nathaniel. Muchova's aspects of her game, and this is why I look at the stats very closely, but Nathaniel's right. Muchova has some very impressive stats based on just the last 52 weeks. Some of her service stats in particular rank her as number 3 in the world, just behind Sabalenka and Rybakina. And I mentioned that in our video yesterday. So absolutely no disgrace. The result at all. And we all knew she was the underdog. Alex was going to have to play really well to even make Muchova think and compete with Muchova. And we saw it briefly at the end, from 4-love down in the second set. They shared the last 4 games. It's just that some of Alex's better tennis today came towards the end of the match. And of course, sharing games when you're 4-love down resulted in 6-2, which meant the match was over. And as I said before the match started, I would have liked to have seen a start like that. So they kept the first set score where they shared games And it's only through the scoreboard, the pressure of the scoreboard being close, that some of these top players will make more mistakes. Muchova hardly made any mistakes in the first set. I think she made one unforced error and two forced errors because the scoreboard was totally in her favour. So, yeah, you can look at it from Alex's point of view, but you can also learn and look at it from Muchova's point of view. And it's always the same. These very top players, you look at when they make the most mistakes, and it's when they're under pressure from the score.
And really, we have to look at the positive and say, well, Muchova won't have learned anything today, but Alex did. That's true, isn't it? And so I am excited because I'm going to try really hard to get us to Austria. Austria isn't very far from us. It's like, well, it's probably 10 hours. Let her opponent smile. Well, someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. And so it's just really a case of making Alex win or learn and enjoy and remember her age. She'll remember her age. I mean, she must feel the pressure. Everyone on the court, the family, the Nadal Academy, the people knowing that there are millions. Can you imagine knowing that there are millions of people watching you all over the world? That will be you and me next year, darling. Yeah, everybody will be.
Okay.
Millions of people watching us over the world.
Yeah, and it's only a third of the season gone. So Alex played 67 matches last year in total. So far, she's played 23. So just around a third of the season gone. And she's already with a win record of 15 matches to just 8 losses. So she's winning nearly twice as many matches. So yes, broaden this season out. Look at it as a whole. 3 months into the season, and Alex is winning twice as many matches as she's losing. She's playing at a higher level compared with this time last year. Her wins at the highest level is far greater. And so very, very positive at just 20 years of age. This season is going in the right direction.
And Muchova, if that is indeed how we say it, only got her title this year, right, at the age of 29.
Yeah, her biggest title. She's been in lots of finals, lots of semi-finals, but you're right, her first big title.
We say always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
In Doha. So she won a 1,000 event for the very first time in her career.
And Nathaniel is saying, you know, Alex is the winner here because she is so highly intelligent and mentally strong. And I really, and Dan always says this about, he said, if one of our grandchildren, we don't have any grandchildren yet, but we're waiting. If one of our grandchildren was a girl, and Dan says, you know, he could mold a really great tennis player, because as long as you've got some talent, it's the mental capacity, it's the mental strength that you really need to be able to play at the top level. And so we kind of jokingly say we could just create a little tennis player. And I don't know how much of a joke it is for Dan, though. I think he might be serious. What do you guys reckon? He could coach Dan, create a tennis player. You'd watch her grow up on our channel. That would be funny. Yes, Mrs. Sildan is saying that she's playing her best tennis this year. Muchova is playing her best tennis this year. I think Dan is just looking up.
Yeah, she's won 2 titles. I was just looking back. I think the biggest issue for Muchova was that she reached the French Open final in 2023. But in that season, she had a terrible wrist injury and had 9 months off and wrist surgery. So just as she got to some of the biggest events, the latter stages, including that final in the French Open, then she had this very difficult injury, which set her back. So I think you're right, obviously, with the fact she's won her biggest title at 29. But I think that is in part for certainly a good year, allowing for some time to get back onto court and test her wrist out. That's a big chunk of time, and Muchova's probably been unlucky to lose some of that peak time from her career. And she's always had a high ranking, so because she's always there or thereabouts, she's only playing the best of players. So a lot of her defeats in latter stages of these competitions against some of the very best players. So yeah, you can look at the number of titles, but you also have to bear in mind the strength of competition she competes at.
When you did that video of you said, I think the summary was there were 5 things that Alex needed to do in order to win this match or do her best in this match. Do you think, I mean, obviously her opponent was exceptionally good, but do you think how many of those 5 did she stand up to well?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how sort of hard and honest you want to be, because you want to grow the player. You don't want to burst their balloon. You don't want to give feedback to someone at 20 years of age is slightly different to giving, say, Sabalenka feedback at 27, 28 years of age. I would say today, Alex, the first thing for me is the winners to unforced errors. Alex's game relies on the winners outnumbering the unforced errors. When she does well, that ratio is positive. And so you have to start with that. And if you watch the tape back, which I'm sure the coaches will do, they'll just look at the number of points where Alex made a mistake that she wouldn't necessarily make if it was Lynette or Siegmund or Yastremska or even Coco Gauff at the other side of the court based on recent matches. But today she made mistakes. Now, there were lots of points played, 78 points played in today's match. Muchova won 52 of them. Alex won 26 of them. So Muchova won twice as many of the points. Now, you look at those 52 points that Muchova won. Did she hit 52 great points? Did she win 52 points with great tennis? Some of those points, absolutely. A lot of those points, maybe over 30. But there were certainly 10 to 20 points where if Alex had played her best tennis and not made an unforced error or hit a shorter ground stroke than she would have liked, maybe on another day, those points wouldn't have gone to Muchova. And then suddenly you get half of those points that I'm talking about. Muchova's only won 40 points and Alex has won 38 points. Suddenly those 78 points, the distribution is very different. But what have I talked about is just sharing half of those 20 points. So Muchova may well, and I'm estimating here because obviously I'm talking to you, but Muchova may well have played some great tennis for 32 of those 52 points she won today. Nothing Alex could do about that. But what I would be looking at is the 20 points where Alex had a chance in the point, but hit a poor shot. And it's there that because of the way the scoring system works, you do better on those points that you had a chance in, points where the point was on your racket, then suddenly the match is very different and the scoreboard is very close. And after 78 points, we're talking about maybe 6 games all and playing a first set tiebreak. They only played 14 games today. So that's the equivalent of a 7-6, 1-love scoreline, isn't it? But it happened to be 6-love, 6-2. So I think that's something I would focus on first. If I was in her coaching setup, I would look at those, find those 20 points, give or take, where Alex didn't play her best tennis and look at those. And that suddenly it's a completely different match. So consistency, cutting out the unforced errors and looking at how those points were won and lost. And were they all won because Muchova played well? So that's where Alex has to start in terms of really being honest with herself. Where was her level at today? And after that, you look at the serve, and things like the serve is easy to compare match on match. Alex didn't serve that badly today. She only served, I think, 2 double faults. So that's by no means an awful set of serves. Then you look at her service percentage. How was her first serve percentage? We know she needs to serve 70%. That's a good day on serve. How close was she to 70% first serves in? That will tell you something, whether it was an average day or a better than average day. How many points did she win on her second serve? Was that a better second serve day? These are the things the coaching team will be looking at.
Is that something that you'll do a video on for tomorrow? Something like that? The gap between where we hoped she'd be and where she was. And it's difficult to put a positive spin on it, but it's all a learning for her, isn't it?
Yeah, if I did a video on that match, I wouldn't concentrate on the majority of the match. You know, there's no point spending too much time on a heavy defeat.
And what would you concentrate on?
But so I would, if I was in her coaching team, I would just extract a certain number of points where Alex could learn something. There's no point reminding her of Muchova's good play and reminding Alex that she lost a set 6-love. No point to that. You just have to move on. But what I would do is I would take some of the points out where Alex was in the point, and then some of her decision making, her shot choices, her court position could have been better. And then that will actually positively influence her in future matches and help her with other opponents, or Muchova if she played her again. But there were some times where Alex was too far over on the baseline, favouring one side of the court, waiting for a backhand. And some of that is because she'd never played Muchova before, and Muchova exploited that court position by hitting into the open space. I would have liked to have seen Alex adjust her court position in terms of how close she was to the middle of the court. Sometimes she got moved across slightly and she didn't get back across into position until it was too late. So all constructive things. There's a lot you can do, but obviously I'm coming from an analytical tennis position, and we're talking quite detailed stuff that coaches will discuss with their player. From a fan's perspective, you want to see Alex enjoying a tennis. She wants to be going away from this match desperate to get back out on court and do better. And so you've got to maintain that those feelings inside your play. You've got to make it fun off court. They've got to have a laugh and a joke away from the court. I know Alex, after the Indian Wells event, I think she had a day or two sightseeing and having some fun.
She needs to do that. I mean, she's only young. She's a 20-year-old.
And so these 2 weeks, there's so many different things other than just analysing the tennis. As well as analysing today's match, just some of the few points, I would also analyse some of the points from the previous 2 matches, so it was balanced. You do not want to just focus on what she can do better. You want to focus also on what she's been doing well, and she's done quite a lot well across this event, not just today's match, but the first 2.
Absolutely. And you have to remember, I don't know if you guys have got kids, whether they're little or big, but our kids are all in their 20s now, and you can remember them when they were 20 years old. Imagine them. Imagine not just the pressure, but the sort of the enormity of being. Can you imagine if any one of our kids, the enormity of being a global name, of being a top 50, top 40 WTA player? I just cannot imagine the enormity of it all. And she's dealing with it so well. And she has to also be a 20-year-old, doesn't she, really? At the same time. I mean, she's phenomenal. You disagree? The tennis level, Alex, is miles away from Muchova.
I feel like I'm being edited in terms of my conversation.
No, Don, it's not all you, because you're talking to other people in the chat as well.
Okay.
Just don't get defensive about it. They're being positive for you.
I go back to my point, Nathaniel, about the points. If you just take 20 of the 78 points played, and Alex has her time again and wins 10 or 12 of those points, suddenly the scoreline's a lot closer, and the points won from Alex is 36 to 38 points, and the points won from Muchová is sort of 42 to 44, and that's a lot different to 52 to 26, which was the outcome. And if you've watched or any of Federer's, he's spoken to students, and he's talked about the fact that he won 80% of his tennis matches, but you look at how many points he won, and he said he only won 54% of the points played, and he was the best player at the time on the planet and winning over 20 Grand Slam titles, and yet he just won 54% of the points. So Alex has to bear that in mind. If she'd won 39 points today instead of 26, she would have won 50% of the points. So that's just it changed 13-point outcomes. So absolutely, Amanda Anisimova lost to Iga Swiatek 6-love in the Wimbledon final last summer. Fast forward 6 weeks to the US Open, Amanda Anisimova beat Iga Swiatek. So there's absolutely no reason why this scoreline would repeat just because one player has won the game today. By that scoreline does not mean that a new day, a new match would result in the same outcome, because you only have to change. What was I talking about? You only have to change 20 points and win, say, 12 of those 20 instead of losing them all, and you suddenly got a different score. So hopefully I've made that point, because I've said it a few times. So I'm going to...
Well, people come in and out of the room, so it's worth always repeating things.
So that's where I would start when you're analysing a match. Don't start with the sets. Don't start with the 6-love, 6-2 game scoreline. Start with the points. And I'm pretty sure I've got that right. 78 points played, 52 to 26 today.
Nathaniel saying Coach Dan was correct on the pre-match. Ali needs to improve her service speed. Well, yes, to improve her service speed, she needs to build up in the gym, and that doesn't come overnight. We all know that. It's part of the journey of her growth, physically, mentally, and in terms of sporting talent, that she needs to go through these learning curves. And I know that, as watching all of your chat, it's absolutely right that you all know that. You all support her come wins and come losses, and that's best for her. I don't think she's going to go in and find she's got horrible messages on WhatsApp, people saying you weren't any good today. I think she's going to go into WhatsApp and find she's got people saying, well done, that was your great study game, you did fantastic, carry on, we support you, we're proud of you, we're naka proud. Maybe I shall make her a little naka proud video and send it into her DMs. I think that's what the young people say. DMs apparently means direct messages. And there are still people over in the other room.
Really?
Oh gosh, yes. There's 28 of them in the other room still. And so hello to you all. I'm trying to speak on both the chats, because we've sort of got 2 fan clubs here going on. And we've had a lot in this room throughout the time, but and Echo Tango is very sensible on the tennis chat, as is Hickis, and Hickis is having a word about the crowd. I smell a rat about the crowds, because your Filipino support of Alex, we watched it when she was in the Middle Eastern swing, and it was alive, and it was, I know some of the other players might not have loved it, but we loved it, and we just loved setting fire to the WTA. The whole world of WTA was injected with joy and vigor, which it usually isn't. And so I thought this was absolutely brilliant. And ever since she came out of the Middle East, I think Indian Wells and here, there have been sort of smaller crowds, and she's been put on at midnight or 9 a.m. or funny times. And I don't blame the Filipinos. I suspect that they've made it. I don't know how they kind of made it harder, but I think their opponents were probably complaining about the joyous, life-giving crowds singing and shouting and cheering, and obviously within reason. But generally, I think it's great. Good for the game. It brings the headlines in, get people watching tennis, and Southeast Asia, that's what's happening. You guys are all getting into tennis and asking Dan questions about about the game, and so I think that's absolutely wonderful. And I don't think they should be suppressing the Filipino support. I think bring them in, let them shout loud, let them sing, let them dance, let them fly their flags. And if other people don't like it, well, get their own fan club, frankly. And the fact that Alex has always got a home crowd wherever she is, I absolutely love it. And if the Czech Republic can't all turn up, then, well, teach them tennis and get them to turn up. That's what I say. Because certainly when we're down at Wimbledon, whenever we're supporting, you can imagine shutting me up. Nah, I've got my flags, I've got my jumping up and down. I love it. The Filipino crowd is rowdy, but never disrespectful. Absolutely right. And they're disrespectful towards the opposing player. That's why the umpire cannot kick them out. Absolutely, they aren't. They do sometimes cheer losses, which actually everyone cheers losses sometimes, and that doesn't go down well with me. But then, honestly, the whole world cheers a loss, and somehow or other, I'm not keen on that. But everybody does it, and you're right. The umpire can't chuck them out because what are they doing? They're loving the sport they paid to turn up to watch. They're loving the player. They're supporting the player they came to see. I mean, what is not to love about that? If you ask me, it's absolutely just brilliant. Are you going to see if you can find the
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. I was just looking at the player list for Alex's next event. So she's entered into Austria. This is the caliber of opponent or the top player she's likely to meet there. So the highest ranked player is Alexandrova, who's the reigning defending champion, and she's ranked outside the top 10, and she's not in great form. So she would be the highest ranked player. And then you've got likes of Ostapenko, Emma Navarro, Clara Towson. So players inside the top 30 at the moment, but only one or two. And then we have players like Yastremska, who Alex has played recently and beaten, Emma Navarro, who I've mentioned, Anne Lee, Kasatkina, Christian, Kostea. So that's the type of caliber of player that in the tournament at this stage, there could be the odd player pulling out, but players ranked in and around the same as Alex. So not anywhere near the depth of talent or low players ranked inside the top 10 in Austria. So there's an example of when you drop down into a 500 event or even a 250, although the Austrian event in Linz is 500 event, most of the players are ranked between 25 and 100 that will be playing there. So every chance for Alex to get some good clay court matches under her belt, as the players will all head over to Europe after this week.
Echo Tango is saying that Austria is a place with many Filipino expats as well. So hope that she'll be in the event there next year. Well, we think she is. She's signed up for it. And I don't think that the organisers of the event will expect what they're getting from me and you if they see us on a court with Alex. Do you think? Because we might go under the radar as Filipinos. I'm not sure. Dan's 6'4". I don't. Do you guys? Are you guys very tall? Are you guys very tall? Maybe you have very. I don't know. Tell me. I because I don't feel like I see you guys. I just see you typing, and so I don't know. But I have watched the video and the Geography Now video about the Filipino culture, and it's absolutely wonderful. I loved it. Let's face it, Alex is Asian at 20. She is still a baby. Oh, she still have baby fats. Oh, bless her. And she
Filipinos are not
need
very
to
tall.
build more.
I
They're
just
not
need a
very
comfort
tall.
break.
You
Excuse
go,
me.
honey. You go. Sealed out. I didn't know whether Filipinos were very tall because we lived in China for a little bit in about 5 years ago, and it was interesting because the city we lived in, Shenzhen, was a melting pot. It had people from all over China, but it became clear to us that physically speaking, the people from southern China are actually quite tall and skinny. And then the people from northern China are shorter and more stocky. So you do kind of get physical types. But yes, so do you think we will go under the radar as maybe as adopted Filipinos in Austria? That would be really fun. We'll take our flags and our bunting and our bawang. Where's our boy bawangs? We love these. My son got these for me for my birthday, which was last week, maybe the week before now. And he knew how crazy we were for the Filipinos now. And so he got me a Filipino cookery book, which is lovely. And I'm going to start cooking. And he got me a Filipino crossword, Tagalog crossword. So I have to learn a bit more Tagalog before I can know the answers to the questions. The questions are in English and I have to put the answers in this crossword grid in Tagalog. Sorry about anyone who's wanting tennis chat but the Philippines will surely welcome you guys. Well, that would be just so lovely. I'm not sure they'll spot us as one of them. I don't think we're famous in Philippines yet. Maybe one day when we come over. Somebody on the chat this morning after one of the videos I made was saying that they would make me Filipino food if we came over there. So that was very sweet. And obviously we'd love that. But the bawang boy, corn buds, aren't they? They're absolutely delicious. We love those. Dan's back now, so you're going to have to, you're going to actually get some more tennis chat now, because this is the way we roll. Dan does the tennis. I do all the and I do the production. Hopefully, and that's why you end up with things like 2 different live streams.
Which we must sort out.
Yeah,
one
we
day.
will, but let's not argue on set, shall we? We will. I don't have any training in this. This has only been the last 4 weeks, you see. So I need to go on a course, how to YouTube, and then I'll get better. I'll just be like Alex, you see. This is every day's a study day, and thank you. Every now and then I pop and look at our subscribers, and they're going up and up and up. It's really kind of you for subscribing. Honestly, we absolutely love it. The just with the gusto with which you're watching our clips and films and videos, whatever else they call them, shorts and longs and lives. I don't know what it all is, but thank you very much.
I mean, interesting this week, Alex chose not to play doubles this week. So I think that shows that her team are thinking a little bit about her sort of year as a whole and thinking about ensuring she stays fresh as possible and doesn't overplay.
So what are the chances of Muchová winning Miami completely? What do you think?
Yeah, she plays the winner now of Andreeva and Mboko. I would imagine
I like Mboko.
Whoever wins that match will, I think, probably beat Muchová. Muchová would probably prefer to play Mboko. She beat Mboko in the Middle East. So I think if Mboko plays Muchová, Muchova's got more chance of winning that match. But certainly in the semi-finals, it's either Goff or Anisimova, most likely. And Muchova's got a terrible record against Goff. She's lost the last 5 matches. And I would expect that Muchová is unlikely to get through to the final this week, personally, because I think these top players, higher ranked players that she's likely to face, in fact, all those 4 players I've just mentioned are ranked higher than Muchová. They're all top 10 players. Andreeva's 10 in the world. Mboko's now inside the top 10. Anisimova's 6th, I think, and Goff is 4th in the world. So they're all higher ranked, and they will exploit Muchova's backhand side more successfully. And certainly Mboko and Anisimova have got a very powerful first serve, so that will be more 3 points. Andreeva at the moment is a difficult one to predict because she's struggled the mental side of the game. She's quite immature on court, and we've seen some outbursts. Her racket.
Well, that's why I don't think she'll win.
She's not, in that respect, her emotions are far too open to her opponent, and that's where Alex has a real strength in comparison. But obviously Andreeva has won a lot of tennis matches and done very well, hence her ranking being 10 in the world. But I don't see Muchova getting to the final. No.
So who do you? So you've got. If we let's dream a little. Let's say Mboko gets to the final. Is she playing Sabalenka?
Yes. Of the two in the top half who are the most likely to get to the final, Sabalenka has a much better record at Miami than Rybakina. Rybakina has got the tougher draw to get to the semi-finals, in my opinion. She's got a big serving, big hitting Australian to play tonight, late tonight, tomorrow morning, early. Talia Gibson thrashed Eva Jovic 6-2, 6-2 yesterday. She's had a good run, the Australian, and she's got a big game. If Rybakina's slightly off, that's going to be a tough match. And then there's also Jessica Pegula, who's playing some good tennis. So that's quite a difficult section, whereas Sabalenka, Paolini was in her section and has lost, so that section's a bit more open, and I don't think Sabalenka will have any problems getting to the semi-finals because it's either Ostapenko now or it's gone out of my head. Who's Ostapenko playing? Someone out there remind me. She's playing, I will tell you, I've got to check the draw now because it's gone out of my head.
You don't need the scoreboard anymore, darling.
No. But yeah, Ostapenko's having a better week, and she's playing someone currently. Who's she playing? Hailey Baptiste. Yes, Hailey Baptiste beats Svitolina, so that top half section, that top section's really opened up. So Sabalenka's really got a very winnable section. She's got Zheng, but I don't think the Chinese player is playing at her level from before her injury. So I expect Sabalenka will beat Zheng. She'll want to beat Zheng. They don't get on. And then she'll beat Baptiste or Ostapenko. So Sabalenka is the most likely, but Pegula, you never know. Difficult Miami so fast. The big serve tends to be the difference when you look at close matches.
Echo Tango over in the other room thinks that Mboko is the next champion.
Yeah,
it'd be good to see.
She just needs to be more consistent, but she's got the big weapons. She's got a big forehand and the big serve, and what she's also got is a very tough mind. So when it gets close or when she's slightly behind, she does not like losing, and that is quite important. Professional sport, you have to hate losing more sometimes than you love winning. And Sabalenka has that ability as well. Absolutely detests losing. And sometimes you see their best tennis when they're behind as a result.
Yes, but then you also sometimes see them mentally break, and they break down in tears and shout at their player box and all that sort of thing. And I find those kind of dramatic responses I wouldn't mind if it made them better at tennis. Like Andy Murray, he used to scream at the player box and get all upset, and it made him better at tennis. But these girls, bless them, I know they're trying their best, but they scream and they cry and they shout at their box, and then they lose. I'm thinking, well, surely you can learn something from that. And that's what certainly Mboko certainly Eala absolutely would just too mature for that. They don't do that. They wouldn't do that.
I think the most likely finalists on this surface, if she plays her level, Amanda Anisimova from the bottom half, I think will possibly be the player to beat. These conditions suit her game. She's in her home country. She likes fast, hard courts. She's quite fresh. She's not had a great start to the season. Not a disaster, but she's not got to the real latter stages, semi-final, final. She's got to quarterfinals, but she's beaten lots of players. She's playing some good tennis, and I think she'll possibly get to the final. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was Sabalenka. But I think, personally, the reason we love the WTA and we love the women's game is there's always a surprise or a shock.
Yeah, and Seal Down is talking about Gibson, and I don't see her carrying on. Well, what do I know? I don't hear her names in semi-finals, but it's always nice to see the ones who are breaking through. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah, I think if Rybakina's going to lose, it will be against Gibson. That is where the shock could happen.
Dan.
But you're totally relying on Gibson playing with as if it's a free shot. And often players come onto court and they find a different set of nerves hits them when they've got the chance of a victory against a big name. And we don't know what Gibson will be like if the opportunity arises. But she has the game to cause Rybakina problems.
It was like when Swiatek was beaten.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Bold prediction. Yes.
Yes, you don't hear them very often from Dan.
Well, you're asking me, so I'm sort of having a go because you're asking me. You've asked me for my predictions.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to hear your prediction. And honestly, I like it. Sometimes I go back on your videos after a match and I'll have a look at it as knowing now what I didn't know the first time you wrote it. And I think your predictions are pretty good, honey. You're pretty good.
Okay.
You do. You are. And lots of people say that in the comments, actually. I think one of your videos went crazy after the match because you predicted it so closely. That was funny. That was who was that? That was when she beat somebody. We were down in Devon.
But you'll
need fingerprint.
We're going to roll over now and start watching Mboko if we're not careful.
Oh, are we going to stay on and watch Mboko?
No, I'm joking. I'm just saying.
These guys need to go to bed because it's really late for you. Everybody who's in, certainly everybody who's in the Philippines, but there's still 60, 70 of you in the room. So we're happy to chat, happy to answer questions, and Dan, I think, is going to be keeping an eye on the Mboko game. Are you?
Yeah, that started now. So interesting to watch players of a similar age to Alex. And the reason I say that is because clearly everyone who's around the age of 20, 18, 19, 20, who's in the top 50 in the world, potentially are going to be the players that we're talking about over the next 10 years, much as Sabalenkas of this world would like to think they're going to be competing in 10 years' time. It's unlikely that they're going to be sustaining the top rankings at 38 years of age. I think many of them will go off and do other careers in their mid-30s. So it's quite important as Alex fans that we keep an eye on those players of a similar age who are also inside the top 50. Mira Andreeva and Victoria Mboko, both 19, I think, give or take, a year younger than Alex, certainly, if not a bit more. That's the benchmark currently for players under the age of 21.
But Mboko's now in a top 10, right? I mean, she's really gone up. I remember I spotted her probably, even I spotted her. That wasn't even, I mean, Dan, I think you were agreeing. You weren't disagreeing with me, but I was saying I like her. She's really good. But her WTA ranking wasn't that great. And I'm pretty sure she's number 9 now.
Yeah, 9 in the world. And she's not quite 19 and a half.
That's insane, isn't it?
So Alex is a year and a bit older than Mboko. And and Draver is still 18, although not for much longer. So those two are worth keeping an eye on because they're going to be the challenge, as is Eva Jovic, who's 18. She's ranked higher than Alex, but there aren't many players under 21 years of age ranked higher than Alex. And we're talking about Sarah Balick, another player who won in Abu Dhabi. Just thinking back, she's ranked 39. She's a 20-year-old, as is Maya Joint, the Australian. She's 19, and that's it. So there's those 5 players under 21 years of age, higher ranked than Alex, going to be her main competition over the next 5 years, as all those players reach their peak age for tennis, their tennis career. 24, 25 years of age is when we start looking at someone in terms of their peak, for me.
And also just an interesting point that they were saying in the chat, of course, that from the Filipino point of view, they're saying they're recognizing that physically speaking, because she's small, she's actually kind of 17, not 20. Physically, Alex is. They're saying that, and I've heard other people say that in other chats. They've been saying to me, she's younger. She's obviously she's not younger, but she's physically smaller, and therefore you can kind of give her a couple of years.
Yes, and we have a phrase in the tennis about a late developer or an early developer in terms of their physical strength, and people in the Philippines will know better than me how Alex sits in terms of her physical development, how it compares with other Filipinos. But I suspect that Alex will be working on movement, which is something a lot of the players work on constantly, and it does change and improve over time. Anisimova being a player last year that started 2025 quite similarly, and then suddenly in the summer of last season, she suddenly broke through at the highest level and started to win matches against the top players. And a lot of commentators talked about the reason being her movement. She was moving better on court. So it's an ongoing area that all the players are working on, moving as well as possible. And that's both on the court in terms of covering the court and covering all the shots that are fired at you, but also in terms of how you move, in terms of when you play the shot. And the serve, for me, is where Alex has got lots to work on in terms of how she throws that tennis racket through the service action. And that comes from the strength in her legs and her arm-shoulder strength.
Last night, I'll be honest with you, last night we were in the lounge and Dan was showing me the leg movement of the better player for their serve and the worst player for their serves, and kind of show me this spring movement that is the better players have. And I was trying to work out a way that we could explain this to you guys, but we couldn't think of a way that we could do it properly because literally we were clowning around here. I understood it by the end of it, and it was.
I mean, I don't know if people are familiar with the Jack in the Box. So when you take the lid off, this thing springs out of the box. We call it a Jack in the Box. Players use their knee to bend their knees, and then as they extend through the serve, they're almost jumping, and their whole body comes off the ground, and their feet come off the ground as they lift up and throw their body in that service motion, and they're throwing the racket extended at the ball, which has been obviously released by the other hand, the ball toss. And what they're trying to do is catch that racket head on the ball at an optimum point to send that ball down into the service box, the right spot at the maximum speed. The reason shorter players with less height struggle is because it's quite hard for them to hit down on the ball perfectly. They have to hit slightly up and over to get the ball going over the net, whereas the taller players can actually hit down on the ball. They don't have to hit it with less pace. They can hit down on the ball, and that's why they have the more powerful first serves. But Alex isn't short by any means, and she can get some more power through her first serve and her second serve, but she needs to build some more strength in her legs, and that will come. And then she needs to develop a bit more confidence to throw her racket head at the ball. And that comes by being brave and committed and having confidence in your serve.
And that's something she is, brave and courageous.
A fun event which you can probably look up online was called the 1 Point Slam in Australia. And what was fun and fascinating about that event was that the professionals who played that were only allowed one serve. And a lot of the psychology of the serve is an element of doubt that comes in when you've missed your first serve, hence why they're nervous over their second serve, because they know they don't want to lose the point by not making their player hit the return, because they hit their second serve out or into the net and have a double fault. So the psychology around the serve is quite important, and a lot of players don't commit to their second serve in fear of the double fault. And that's what, in the extreme cases, someone like Coco Gauff in recent times has really struggled with. Iga Swiatek also struggled with her serve. Those players are obviously under the most spotlight because they have been playing at a high level for quite a while. They have won the big events, and so people talk about them a lot. And when they suddenly are not in form, or they suddenly have a shot like the serve which is not working and they're making a lot of double faults, then the press, everyone's talking about it. They get asked the same questions at press conferences, and so it just gets into their mind. Now, Alex doesn't have that level of attention on her game yet, in terms of people are asking a young player like Alex at 20, why isn't your second serve 10 miles an hour stronger? They won't ask that question. But these are the things that they'll be working on behind the scenes for the next 2 or 3 years, to try and get into a position where her first serve is closer to 100 miles an hour on average, with the odd first serve over 100 miles an hour, and her second serve pushing 85 to 90 miles an hour. And what I've stated there are realistic targets, because that would be, on average, a good 5 to 10 miles an hour faster than her current averages. And then you have to factor in this fear factor of missing your second serves and conceding too many points with double faults. And that often sees the second serve speed reduce. So if you look at a match like the Siegmund match, her second serve speed was down near 70 miles an hour, partly because the opponent wasn't as threatening on return and she could get away with it. But of course, you don't want to be relying on just getting your second serve in once you start playing players ranked higher than you. Siegmund was not the same standard of opponent as these players who are ranked higher than Alex.
Francis has been asking, what age do you think she needs to sort of get in the gym and go and bulk up a bit? I was saying that I think she's probably, there's a balance. You can't have too much, you get injury prone. But but she's of an age now where she can get some extra muscle to help her serve, isn't she?
Yes. The difficulty for a tennis player is the season is so long. So we're talking, aren't we, early January right through to late October. Even if you're not in the top 10, the top 8 players at the end then play in the first week of November at the WTA finals. So their season's even longer. So some of these players only get 2 months off. November and December, generally, for most players, is their off season. That's when you can do real strength and conditioning work on things like your legs and your shoulders. But during the 10 months you're playing and competing, you're not going to do heavy weights or heavy for the person, the individual. So they'll be lifting appropriate weights and doing strengthening, but they're not going to be doing that in the same way during the season. So that's what's difficult for a player. They have to kind of manage when they do their work in respect of their strength and conditioning in the block that is the off season. And during the season is slightly different focus in terms of they're trying to sustain their fitness and make sure they recover and do all the right things to make sure every day they're competing, they're in the best possible condition for that. So that's a difficulty for the tennis player compared with some sports where there's a bit more sort of even flow to what they do in terms of physical development.
There are some sports, aren't there, that rowing. I don't know if you have rowing in the Philippines. You've got a lot of water there, so you'd think they probably do. Rowing is a sport here in England where they say don't even start rowing until you're 15, 16, which is late when you've got keen, sporty parents who want to send you off to school to all the different things that they can. But tennis is an earlier one, isn't it? I mean, the Williams sisters were playing since they were, 1 or 2.
I mean, the beauty about tennis is they're doing a lot of running on the court as a byproduct of playing that game. So the sort of game helps you be generally fit, if that makes sense. You're doing a lot of running, so aerobically, that kind of day-to-day fitness is helped by the sport. You're doing lots of shuttle-type runs on the court. You're darting short distances all the time, backwards, forwards, changes of direction. So in some senses, what they do off court is not going to be doing miles and miles of running. They need to be aerobically fit, but they won't do as much long distance running as aerobically as some sports. They'll do a lot of sort of dynamic short sprints, changes of direction. You'll see players actually using the tennis court to do some of their sort of training in terms of they'll go from one side of the court to the other and they'll do what's called shuttle runs. And sometimes they'll do it to a beat test. So some of you might have even done that yourself in schools, etc., where there's a beep and the time between the beeps gets reduced the longer you run. And so you have to go a bit quicker. And then, of course, that's building up stamina. But what they're also doing is they're doing an applicable distance. So they're doing that on a tennis court because it then mirrors what they do in a match, much more so than just, say, running a 10K or a 20K. They'll do some of that, but more in the off season, as I've said, about the legs and the arm strengthening. And so the other point is because Alex is so young, of course, they'll be acutely aware of letting her physically finish growing. So it's much more risky or dangerous to do too much to your body while it's growing as well. And that's where there's a balance to be had. So they'll be monitoring all that kind of the growth, whether Alex has stopped growing. And she may well have stopped growing now. She's nearly 21, isn't she? She's over 20, but
she's 21 in May the 23rd. Are we going to have a birthday party for her? I think we will.
In respect of the last couple of years, that will be why she hasn't maybe filled out as much, because she's being allowed to finish to grow. And her career is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Children on the street. You see, I don't know. We've got in here, it's 5:30 now in the afternoon, and we've got the children coming back from school and they've had their tea and they're playing on the street, which is really sweet. But you guys must be exhausted. It's very, very early in the morning or late at night for you, right? 2 something, is it? Must be quite late. But you're still there, which is lovely. And you're also still over here in the other room.
How many's in the other room?
Oh, there's 15 people in that room.
Okay. We should think about dinner.
Yes.
And we didn't. Last Sunday, we had a little contest between the two of us because Sabalenka played Rybakina. When I say last week, where are we? Yeah, it was last Sunday.
About 8 days ago.
Yeah, 8 days ago. And we did the final live, and we had the winner got to have dinner cooked by the other. So Katie went for Rybakina. I went for Sabalenka. Katie was looking forward to me cooking for her when Rybakina had match point. But unbelievably, Sabalenka saved that match point and went on to win. So Katie had to cook for me.
I did. We will do the final. If anyone wants to come to the live, I know that it's obviously, you're all very much Alex fans, but we are going to do the final, whoever's in it. this week. So please do come along if you just want tennis, not even Alex tennis. And Nathan's saying, we love you, Laban Alex. Well, thank you for coming. A really Salamat Po. Salamat Po. And we love you all too. Just such a lovely community. And it feels like we might not be seeing you. Well, we'll still make our videos about tennis and about Alex when appropriate. But we will definitely be seeing you in Linz, which is Linz. And yes, when will the final be? Mr. Sealdown is asking, when will that be? Hopefully a afternoon match. Well, it won't be.
Yeah, it'll be late. It won't be really late because they never play finals really late because the players have to move on, and so they tend to be latest start sort of 4 p.m. in the afternoon.
That's very late for a final.
Yeah, but it depends if they do women's and men's, and this is a dual event. That's why I said 4 p.m. can be the latest. But
yes.
Normally they'll start nearer lunchtime. 1 p.m., 2 p.m. finals start.
That's 1 a.m., 2 a.m. for you guys.
In Indian Wells, they actually had 2 finals, and the women started actually at midday. So we were blessed with an earlier start, hence why we could do the Indian Wells final without getting up in the middle of the night. I'm guessing. So I would suspect it will be 6 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. either side of that. So around 2 p.m. Miami time. So 6 a.m. in the Philippines.
I think really Dan and I have done the hard yards. We've done Australia and we've done the Middle East, getting up in the middle of the night, and we've done a bit of getting up in the middle of the night in Indian Wells. But now, because it's coming towards Europe, it's getting a bit easier for us. And I think that might be getting a little bit harder for you, which is a bit of a shame. But I suppose it swings and roundabouts because everyone gets their time when it's easy. Oh, I love it when it's Wimbledon, when you can just, because it's easy to see, because it's on the BBC, so everyone can watch it for free. And I just love that you can just turn the TV on and have it on all day, watching, listening. Even if you're not in the same room, you can just hear the umpire and the calmness and the ball and the grass. It's just fabulous. I love it. And so yes, there you go. And so when is the Philippines tournament event? Do we think it's January? Let's have a little. Anyone know? Please teach me how to play tennis, Coach Dan. Oh, there you go. Nathan is your number 2. He's your number 2 fan.
Nathaniel, and he wants you to been sharing some interesting points.
You have, yeah, he has been. So we come over to the Philippines and teach you how to play tennis. Do you think we'd make up a 4? So we need Mr. Sealdown would join us. And I think there's a few people who we could rope in for a bit of tennis.
So that's why you're all familiar with Osorio from Colombia, because she won the Philippine Open and it was at the end of January. So it was played at the same time as the Australian Open, or the second half of the Australian Open.
Oh.
So that's interesting scheduling.
That's what Mr. Sealdown says, but WTA PH is a very bad schedule. Yeah. Hopefully they'll make it a 250. What was it, 125 before?
Yeah, and it can't. That's the issue. Yes, it needs to be a 250 event,
and it's on at the same time as Australian, which is
it overlaps.
Yeah, but at least it's the same neck of the woods in the world as Australia, kinda ish, over that way. But well, that's what we'll say to them about the press passes. We'll say, give us Australian Open, or we'll go to the Philippines, because we think, I'm sure one of our lovely fans would help us get a press pass for the Philippines. And by then, our website will have done it for us. We've applied to the WTA for a, what was it called? Accreditation as journalists. Really particularly for you guys, because we thought it would just be so great if we could not be sitting here, but we could be in the actual courts. Alex won't be able to play if they keep it a 1-2-5. There are many half Filipinos.
Leila Fernandez, very good.
Ah, is she? What's her other half?
American? No, Canadian. Sorry, Canadian.
She's Canadian.
Canadian Filipino.
Take your dinner, Coach Dan.
Thank you.
Does he look hungry? Oh, well, you guys need to go to sleep.
Yes.
And we'll go and get some food. But we'll see you on the tubes, whatever that means. We'll see you on the tubes. We'll make some videos for you. Drop us messages and we'll make you films, whatever films you want.
Yeah, we'll do what's next for Alex video and summary of March for Alex. She's had a very good March, and what's to come and what the challenges on the clay hold for all the players. Not just playing tennis, you have to be able to play tennis on several different surfaces over the season. And
clay is so different.
It's a very different surface, yes. And that will test the player's movement, because if there's one surface players play drop shots on a lot, it's clay.
I used to be in my club. We have carpet courts there. I don't know if you have carpet courts where you are, but we play on carpet all year round. And then for 1 week a year, we would all go off to Mallorca in Spain. In fact, it's where Rafa's academy was, but we didn't go to the actual academy. And it was all on clay. And the ball bounces. You have to stand behind the line, but like way behind the line. Don't you?
Rallies go on for a lot longer on clay.
Bouncy,
it's a lot harder to win a point. You really have to work the point. Rallies are extended, and players use a drop shot a lot on clay. So there's a lot of movement forwards as well as along the baseline. So it will be interesting to see how Alex gets on, because it's going to be her first full season on clay as a sort of top 50 player. So she'll get direct entry into all the big clay court events this season, and it will be really interesting to see how she gets on. But I'll be just talking a little bit about that, and then we'll soon be ready for the draw in Austria, and she'll be traveling across, and we'll all be excited. And if Katie's very lucky,
if I'm very talented, I'll have got us some press passes. And Mr. Sealdown, that's such an interesting question. He said, is the grass court real grass? Of course, because we grew up with this, we know it's real grass. Of course it's real grass. But we didn't know that it's not obvious to other people. So that's really, really interesting question. But the job of caretaker of, centre court is a full-time and hugely respected job. The guy there has done it for years. I tell you, when they built the old centre court before they built the new one, they built this centre court, and there was a roller, the really heavy. Maybe you don't, because you don't do grass courts, but there's a really heavy roller, and they roll it on the grass to sort of flatten it and make this a really solid base. And it's an integral part of the growing of the grass properly. But they put this in, and they built the court around it, and they couldn't get rid of it because there wasn't an exit for this thing. And so it sits there all the time, or it did until they built the new one. But of course, Wimbledon is going through a big expansion at the moment in terms of your grass court play. They've got a triangular premises, but they bought a golf club opposite it, and they're going through court. Legal things for all the locals in Wimbledon are all saying, we don't want it, including my mother, bless her, because of the infrastructure around there is going to be very disruptive to build what they want to build, which is something like 38 new courts on this golf course, and all sorts of other structurally important, fundamentally important for us to, and in Wimbledon, to compete with these other Australian Open, the other Grand Slams. But they're doing all sorts of law cases trying to keep this thing going, I read in the paper this week that it's getting just a little bit more likely that it actually does get done. So we shall see. You heard it here first. And if it does get done, then Dan says it's going to be a 3-week tournament, don't you? They'll make it a 3-week tournament, because a bit like Australian Open, they'll put qualifiers. At the moment, they play the qualifiers in Roehampton, a couple of miles away. But they're going to bring the qualifiers into the fold so that you've got everything all on the same courts, and it'll be all on the same premises, and it will be a nice environment for the players to play in, won't it?
Yes, and you're right. In terms of the tour, the grass court events are in Europe, and it's generally, for the women's tour, it's either Germany or the UK, which is where we get a month full of tennis, because there's some big events in the UK, and the only other option is Germany. They have 2 grass court events in quick succession in Berlin and a place which you want to call Hamburg, but it's Bodomberg.
That was one of the ones that I remember them talking about that.
Yeah, other countries have lots of grass, and actually in Asia, there's a lot of golf courses, aren't there? So they know how to prepare grass because they do it for the golf courses.
But do you remember when we lived in China, honey? We lived on a golf course, and it was a different type of grass, wasn't it? It was very sort of thick. It wasn't the type of grass which would be really lovely on your bare feet. It was a type of grass that was quite hard, and I don't think it would work for tennis. I mean, you didn't think it would work particularly well.
And it's not all year round, is it, grass? So I think probably it's not a good use of land, and where there's big populations, they probably look at it as a waste of the land to have grass prepared for just 6 weeks of the year.
You could probably say that for Wimbledon as well, but yes, I totally agree. Interesting how it all works. Well, look, this has been great fun. Thank you so much for coming. Salamat Po for coming. And
onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
For Alex, Laban Alex, for April, Europe comes. And we'll be closer to Alex, so that's very exciting. And we're hoping we'll actually sit courtside soon.
I'm going to be, can you imagine? I'm going to be so excited. I'll be wrapped up in my flag and screaming and shouting for her, and she will not know that I am a undercover Filipino. Okay, so we're going to say bye-bye.
Make dinner, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to make dinner for Dan because he's been doing all the work. And not that it's work, is it? Talking about your favourite sport to your favourite people.
Right, we'll leave you with the flag.
See you later.
Bye-bye,
see you next
everyone.
time. Bye-bye. Have a great evening. See you in the next match. And, of course, looking forward to your uploads. Oh, thank you. Thanks, everybody. I don't know whether at everybody how it works, but thanks so much. There you go. Right. Don't know where the thingy is. Put that into. Here it is. That one. Right.
And they go 2 set points. Hang on, yeah, 7, 6 all, 6-4 for the tie break. Come on, Enzo, first set, come on. Oh, 5-4. And they go win the third set. Get it.
I didn't shut it. I just told them that I'm going to go on post. Okay. End stream. Bye bye, everybody.